Smithley, driver the number 0, JD Motorsports Chevrolet, and you're watching All Pro Broadcasting.
So proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket trembling, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land under the fray, and the home of the brave?
Hey, this is Garrett Smithley, driver the number 0, JD Motorsports Chevrolet, and you're watching All Pro Broadcasting.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, iRacing fans from around the world, YouTube viewers, welcome to the 3-year anniversary race of KMA Racing. I am your announcer tonight, Scott Kolovic. In the booth joining me tonight, I've got Brad Patterson, Sean Zulu, and Scott Fenstermacher. How are you guys doing tonight?
Good, Scott, and how are you, Mr. Fenstermacher?
I'm doing all right. How's everyone else tonight?
Doing good. Looking forward to seeing a good race here for the 3-year anniversary of KMA Racing.
Yes, sir. Tonight is going to be a great race, I'm anticipating. Before we get started, though, I do want to give a couple of shout-outs. Big shout-out to our sponsors, Richie B. Richie B is in the number 15 car tonight, or truck, and Richie B is located out of Dothan, Alabama, with Richie B's Pizza. Our other sponsor, Pro Automotive, out of Maryland, Jason Riccio, driving the number 2 truck tonight. Big shout out to these guys. These guys have actually put up a small packet of rewards in the form of iRacing credits for every driver tonight that does finish this race. Another shout out is to the number 22, Jay Doggart, with Mastercraft Painting out of Nevada. Now Jay's going to offer up $30 in cash tonight for the most laps led, for he who is leading on lap 50, and for the truck with the fastest lap time. So definitely big shout out and a big thank you to Richie B, Pro Automotive, and Mastercraft Painting.
Oh yes, and this race is also sponsored by PAD. It's representing PAD, P-A-D-D, that is, People Against Distracted Driving. Ladies and gentlemen out there, the world out there, please do not text and drive. All forms of distracted driving go from talking on your phone while driving, changing this music station while driving, having your lap in your dog in your lap while driving. All those are forms of distracted driving. Well, ladies and gentlemen, texting and driving, texting can wait. You can always reply to a text, but you can never replace a life or a ruined life. So always keep that in mind.
Absolute and great words of advice there. We are right now under qualifying. We've got about 3.5 minutes to we go to race time. Tell me, Brad, have you got your eye on any specific drivers or teams out here tonight?
I think there's quite a few good drivers throughout the field. Obviously, the who's who is here as far as the KMA guys. The True Speed guys are obviously here. One to obviously watch is always going to be Abe Bowden, especially when it comes to the qualifying. There's a few others that I got my eye on, but I think Abe's probably going to be in the top 5 right off the bat and be running up front all night.
Oh, definitely. That's 74 Abe Bowden. He is a powerhouse. What are your thoughts on that, Scott?
I have to agree with Brad on that one. I'm also going to be keeping my eye on the number 3 of Mark Jackson, as well as the number 14 of Nathan Sylvia. I've seen those two do a wonderful job out here on these super speedways. Great strategy and having a unique ability to stay out of accidents, and that's going to be one of the keys here at this high-speed track.
Now, you had mentioned strategy. Talk to us about strategy, Sean. This is 100 laps tonight. These drivers have 3 backup trucks. How much of a factor do you think pitting is going to be tonight?
Oh yeah, it's 100 lap race here. We have a 75% fuel limit on these things, so they can actually do at most. I mean, they can do up to about 31 to 32 laps on a fuel tank. So they're gonna have to actually pit about once or twice in order to make it all the way. And you mentioned they have 3 backup trucks, also known as resets on iRacing. So basically, when they get wrecked, they can get a backup truck and get a clean truck, so they can continue running without any damage. So that's also gonna play a key factor, and these guys are gonna have to take that into consideration and ride for a little bit and try and stay out of trouble to save those quick repairs.
Oh, definitely, and those resets are definitely key. But not only do they serve the driver a backup truck, they also keep the driver in the race tonight. That is very important. Here at KMA, we do our best to make sure everybody has a good time. We are currently watching our leaderboard with the number 9, Kevin Utley, pulling down a 53.408, followed by number 87, Raymond Rittenauer II with a 53.409. Do you think those times are going to stand up on that board as 1 and 2?
I think it's got a fairly decent shot. By now, we should have had the majority of our trucks take the qualifying laps. There could be a few surprises here and there with a couple of late drivers. taking their laps a little bit late in the session here, but those are pretty damn strong types to beat. They're real close together. I mean, between 1 and 2 right now, oh, right there, number 74, Abe Bowden. He actually went ahead and turned to 53.408 as well. So right now we have the number 74, Abe Bowden, and the number 9, Kevin Utley, with the same exact time.
And we also have the number 87, Raymond Rittenauer, and the 31, Brandon Schnupp, with a thousandth of a second behind and tied for 3 and 4.
And also looking at 5th and 6th, that we've got Nathan Sylvia in the 14 and Matthew Quick in the 89 with the same exact lap time as well. So we have 3 groups of drivers here with the exact times.
Yes, sir. And right now qualifying is just about over. Why don't you go on and give us that top 10 grid there, Brad?
All right, looks like the grid is set, and running off the pole is going to be the number 74 of Abe Bowden with a 53.408, followed by the number 9, Kevin Utley, with the 53.408 as well. The 87, Raymond Rittenauer, with a 53.409. Brandon Schnupp with a 53.409 as well. Then you're going to have Nathan Silva sitting in 5th place. The 89, Matthew Quick, 6th. Richard Rose in 7th. Number 3 of Mark Jackson in 8th. 41 of Paul Covington on 9th. And Chad Roy running out your top 10.
It looks like a mighty strong qualifying field we do have here tonight, set for the KMA 3-year anniversary race. Now, we did notice that only 34 drivers tonight took times. Our 34th qualifying driver was Rick D. Smith, and the number 11 tonight with a 53.648. So tell me, Sean, what is the strategy involved with the remaining 9 drivers not taking qualifying times?
Oh, usually, people, that's their way of staying out of trouble. They want to start in the back and just take it easy from there, and that way when a wreck happens, let's say 5 seconds ahead of them, they have enough time to slam on those brakes and get those trucks stopped in order for them not to get bunched up with everybody else. So that's really smart on their part.
Now, are we expecting tonight for a lot of pack racing? Do you think they're going to divide up? I know we got a lot of inner teams going on here tonight. It's going to be really interesting to watch the first 30 laps of this race tonight.
Yeah, Scott, I think it all depends on the strategy and what unfolds in this race. If you're going to end up with a couple of cautions, especially early, you might get a couple of drivers that tend to be a little bit more, like Sean was speaking, go to the back and kind of try to wait out the caution. You're going to have some guys that are going to be really trying to get to that front right off the bat to try to stay out of the trouble. You're going to have guys that are going to be content right, and you're going to have the other guys that are going to want to go in the back. If we get a lot of green flag racing, those pit stops are definitely going to separate it out.
Oh, they definitely are. And one other thing I did want to mention, if the viewers here pay attention tonight, we've got some great looking trucks out here tonight. Tristan Beats in the number 211 taking up P4. He is driving the official KMA truck. I'm sorry, that's a 31 Brandon Schnupp. But Tristan Beats is as well in the official KMA truck, and those trucks were painted by Over the Top Design and Paints, and you can see the work of John Hedrick on Trading Paints. Awesome paint jobs out there. All right, drivers are lining up. We are getting ready to go green. Tell you what, guys, I am super excited tonight about the KMA 3-year anniversary race, and hopefully we will see 100 laps of green flag racing.
Oh yes, absolutely. I scanned this field, man. We have a bunch of great drivers, a bunch of drivers who know each other from other leagues and coming here together just so they can, have some serious clean fun together. So we do look forward to some green flag pit stops and great 3-wide action and just great racing throughout.
Yes, sir, absolutely. I do see Max Velocity is in here tonight. I see James Brown with Cora. He is in the field tonight. He's going to put on a really good show. Definitely a driver to watch. I'll tell you what, that is a huge field. Looking at it from the chopper angle, 43 trucks getting ready to go green.
The pace car is off here. The green flag flies. Abe Bowden on the loud pet on the outside line is the 9 of Kevin Utley. Raymond Rittenauer in the 87 all over the back bumper of Abe Bowden. The 31 of Brandon Schnupp already on Kevin Utley's bumper, and it's going to be a drag race to turn 2.
I tell you what, we are already seeing that outside line Foreman there with Kevin Utley, Brandon Schnupp. We've got Matthew Quick and Richard Brose in the mix. I tell you what, Scott, I'm excited already.
That's right. You can see these drivers are already starting to jockey for position. They're trying to find their teammates. They're trying to set up their trucks and their strategy for the long run, hopefully, and we will get these guys safely around to turn number 4 for lap number 1.
Now we're going to be keeping an eye on the number 3 Mark Jackson in that Gravedigger truck tonight. A very strong driver here at KMA, and he is a high line hugger. I tell you what, he likes that high lane, and he'll get up there in that high lane with a few teammates, and you will see them go 3 wide without a doubt early on.
Well, that's for sure. You're also going to hopefully see these drivers giving each other a lot of respect. The more respect they give, the more chance we're going to have to see some of these green flag pit stops.
Once again, that outside line starts to form and move. Kevin Utley leading that outside lane, being pushed by Brandon Schnupp. Abe Bowden and Raymond hanging safely on the inside in position 1 and 3.
Yeah, and as you can see there, the 87 of Raymond Rittenauer is not pushing the 74 as hard as the 31. He's pushing on the 9 at the front there. Looks like he's playing it smart. They're just trying to keep his truck cool because there's no need to push that hard this early on.
Yeah, when you're in this big pack like this, the thing that you got to watch out for, if you're the leader, you pretty much got it made. You got the pedal to the floor, and you're able to pretty much choose your own destiny. But once you start getting a couple of cars back, what you got to really watch out for is the checkup from the truck in front, pushing the truck that's in front of him. As it starts going back, you got to start lifting out just to make sure you don't get into the back of the other driver and turn him, create a really big mess.
Well, in addition to that, Brad, here in about 4 laps, these engines are going to start heating up. And when they start heating up, the driver has to make a decision. Do I want to swap? If I swap, we're going to go 3 wide, I'm going to lose position, or just can I tuck that engine out to the right a little bit and get some air on that fan and cool her down? And if you're going to do that, somebody might think you're going to go 3 wide, and I tell you what, decision after decision on these speedways.
Oh, looks like we got a new leader. That'd be the number 87 of Rittenauer to the front.
Nathan Sylvie from the bottom up front. He's going to go from the bottom to the middle lane, and he's going to become the leader of the middle lane. Behind him is going to be the 9 of Kevin Utley.
It doesn't take very long for these boys to start figuring out which line they want to be in, how they make their way to the front.
Well, and right now that is where everybody wants to be. You never can tell at the speedway where that caution is going to come out. Is it going to be in the front? Is it going to be in the middle? Me personally, if I'm in the back, I like to start in the back because you do know it's going to happen. We hope not, but it is going to be inevitable. And unfortunately, sometimes that caution will happen up there in about the 3rd or 4th slot.
And we've got an accident in turn number 1. Turn 2, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's a big one, too.
And caution is out on lap 5.
Look.
Unfortunately, that did involve Donald Sadusky, I do believe.
That one involved the 38 of Donald Sadusky and J.R. Johnson. And the 37, looks like those two just made a little bit of contact and collected each other and collected a bunch of trucks in behind them.
Well, that definitely was a huge field. Unfortunate luck for a lot of drivers here. Looking at it, we had some contact from the 38 and the 66 driven by Edward Bray on the 37.
Yeah, looking at that race there, it looks like it was a very, very tight 3 wide racing on the 38's part. He ended up going a little bit too low and ended up getting the 66 of Edward Bray.
Yeah, looks like Edward Bray took a wild ride there going airborne and upside down.
And now we did actually have quite a few drivers that were in front of that. Unfortunately, quite a few drivers that were involved in. And we were talking about those resets. And right now, early on lap 5, thank goodness we got them resets because these drivers can go in, trash that current truck, and they're going to pick up a brand new truck, and they will be back on the lap at KMA's 3-year anniversary race.
Yeah, I think that was roughly about a 15-car pile up there, and that's where you paid off dividends if you were one of the trucks that dropped there to the back, because there was a good pack of about 6 of them running a good 3 or 4 seconds off the back. They were able to escape that without any harm because of that strategy everybody was talking about earlier.
Now, at this point in time, if you did survive that, Scott, what do you do as a driver right now on lap 5? You're in the front. You've got a clean truck. Do you pit? Do you play the odds? Do you want tires? Do you want fuel? Because the guys behind you, they're going to be on a full fuel load, and you will be a few laps short. What do you do, Scott?
Well, this early in the race, it's a hard call, and that's one I'd really like to have a crew chief to make for me, but in these iRacing sessions, you are your own crew chief, so it is up to you. If we're having cautions already at lap 6, I'm going to play the odds and say we're probably going to have another caution somewhere in the lap 20 range where I'm going to be able to fill up that fuel tank, maybe grab 2 tires and keep some of my track position.
Yeah, I agree. If I'm at the front of the field, especially in the top 5 right now, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to pit when I have to pit, try to stay in the front, and try to stay out of anything that happens there in the back.
Absolutely, and man, it's a shame. Looking here at the standings at the moment, it looks like 9 drivers have gone a lap down due to that early caution. So that's going to be a very, very tough break for them. Scott, speaking of going a lap down, tell us about the Lucky Dog.
Well, the way the Lucky Dog works around here, it is attributed to the first truck that is a lap down, but there is a stipulation. In the event of the next caution, you must remain incident-free. If you so much as touch a wall or break a taillight, you will lose that Lucky Dog position, and that will go to the next truck that is 1 lap down and in position. So if you are in Lucky Dog's spot there again, Brad, what do you do? Do you rush your way up through that pack, or do you just actually fall off the back of the patch because you can't get damage?
Well, you can't just fall off the back of the pack because you're still going to be racing all those 9 drivers that are a lap down with you. And the problem with that is some of the names there of those 9 drivers. You have Lloyd Sanders in the number 1, Gary Burt in the 88. You got somebody like a Mark Allen in the 19. I guarantee he's going to try to get to the front and make sure that, because he can still race his way back to the lead lap. Unfortunately, it looks like a couple of them had a tow, and now they're 2 laps down.
Alrighty, and we are on 1 to go. We are doubling up for this restart. We are on lap 6 underneath our first caution of the evening. Currently, our race leader is the number 14, Nathan Sylvia. P2 belongs to 87, Raymond Rittenauer. And Kevin Utley and Abe Bowden on that 3 and 4 spot. Well, not much has changed up here around the front, Sean. Do you think it's going to change up once we get rolling again?
Oh yes, absolutely. You can go from hero to zero really quickly at these super speedway races at these tracks, because everybody's going to try and get to the front. Everybody's going to be overheating and trying to swap. So the guys who are at the very back are going to eventually find themselves up front.
Yes, sir. And we are getting ready to go green once again. Going to be a good restart. I tell you what, these drivers now, they are warmed up and their trucks are hot and their tires are already peeling off that rubber. Going to be a very exciting restart here.
Yeah, I think all the nervous jitters are done from the start of the race. Now that we've all had a caution, everybody's seen the damages it can do, and hopefully we're all just going to settle in, be patient in terms of laps here.
Alrighty, and that pace car is off. Take her away, Sean.
Yes, sir. Nathan Sylvia holding that pace speed, waiting for that green.
Green flag, green flag.
The green flag flies. Nathan Sylvia on the loud pedal. Raymond Rittenauer right side by side with him. Looks like the 74th Abe Bowden did not see it coming, as he is gonna be off the bumper of Raymond Rittenauer. Kevin Atley right real close to Nathan Sylvia, and the 31 of Brandon Schnupp is already pushing on the 9 of Kevin Atley to make him catch up to the 14 of Nathan Sylvia.
Yes, sir. Now, looking at Richard Brose in the number 15 with his partner, 21, Paul Covington. These guys are like frick and frack, and I guarantee you Paul will follow Richie all the way around and bring these trucks into victory lane tonight, or so we hope. The two drivers there that are teammates, and they work together hand in hand. And that's one thing about the Speedway, Scott. Everything is about teams. You got to have a partner here.
Yeah, you definitely need to have a partner, and hopefully it's a partner that you like, and sometimes you just have to take the partner that you are dealt with.
Yes, sir, on that. And every driver in here tonight is a great driver, but there are some tandems that do seem to work a little bit better together. They know when to push, when not to push, how to breathe, and I've seen a lot of drivers out here. It's like they're telekinetic, and they got ESP, and I know exactly when I got to let it out, and I know exactly what you're going to do.
Well, the teammate game has had a huge impact on the super speedways. They've actually refined it quite a bit. A lot of these drivers are on the independent channels to where they can speak back and forth with each other without anybody else knowing about it, their own private channel, if you will. So there's a lot of communications going on through that pack, even though it might not think so.
Absolutely. Right now, we're looking in the front at number 14, Nathan Sylvia, being pushed by the 74A Bowden. That outside lane does not seem to have the power that it should, being led by Richard Brose in the 15. Well, they're starting to make a move now. They are 3 long, and they're coming up on that outside.
The 15 on the outside line, that's Richard Brose, is going to be leading the outside line with getting help from the 21 of Paul Covington. They're going to try and get themselves up front there. Looks like the 14 of Nathan Sylvia is getting off the bump of the 74, which is starting to affect that bottom lane, it looks like, at this point. So if you've noticed this, the more trucks they have, the faster they go. So like the closer they are, the faster they go.
Yeah, one other thing, that top line, what they can do is when they're going through the corners and they're on that back stretch, they can use that side draft and really get a good pull-off movement. In the corners, if they get right down on that bottom line, they can actually prevent that bottom line from peeking that nose out and getting fresh air, which will just cause that truck to overheat, essentially cause them to back off a little bit to where they can't get that strong push.
Absolutely. Right now, that inside lane does definitely seem to be the powerhouse. Looking a little bit further back, trucks seem to be keeping a very respectable distance for one another further back in the field. That's a good thing right there.
That's right. It looks like the back of the pack is really kind of biding their time, making sure they're going to be in a safe position should something unhappy happen up in the front.
Right now, we currently are seeing no drivers willing to take a 3-wide yet. That's a good thing. That 3-wide oftentimes gets us into trouble. Right now, we are looking at 42 trucks that are double file. Really good racing going on up front.
Yeah, I think with that early caution, Scott, you're going to have a lot of good guys right now that are kind of content with just riding out and try to make that first pit stop. And then ultimately see what that first pit stop brings us.
Currently, our race leader is number 87, Raymond Rittenmeyer, battling out with number 15, Richard Brose from P1 and P2. Phil definitely does seem to have settled down quite a bit.
Yeah, the field does seem to be minding the manners.
74A Bowden jumps up into that outside lane, being pushed on by Richard Brose. That was a risky move right there, but it worked out, and he cuts back down to that inside lane.
And looking back in the pack, looking at the 3 of Mark Jackson, who just took it 3 wide on the 4 of Wes Holden, as the 4 ended up drifting up just a little bit and gave the 3 of Mark Jackson enough room to take him 3 wide on the backstretch.
Yeah, I
sure,
think that
things are
fourth
starting to get
truck.
dicey.
Yeah, I think that Ford truck of Wesley Holland is going to end up being the loser in this deal. He had to check up a little bit when it looked like Dave Bowden in the 74 went up to that top.
And
lane.
we've got contact with Mark Jackson into that number 4 truck. Everybody is alive, but boy, that Ford truck took a hit right there.
The Ford truck of Wesley Holland gets sideways and manages to save it. It's a great job by Wes, but we have a caution.
Caution is out. Caution is out.
And unfortunately, that will bring out our second caution on lap 15. We're going to get it all sorted out here. I do believe that Craig Kinney, number 90, was involved in that. Well, you hate it when that happens, but you know, this is a speedway, and that does happen indeed. A lot of 3-wide action going on there, and when you do go 3-wide, boy, this kind of stuff is going to happen. All right, unfortunately, that did involve the 66, the 48, and the 31. 41, driven by Sean Ermacora. All right, drivers are currently regrouping. Watching our all-pro broadcasting replay, the tale will tell the tale.
And as time through, we do have trucks that are electing to take pit stops. So let's see what that happens to their track position.
Well, again, right now, you know, it is a critical time in this race. We are still early on. But again, stay in, stay out. A lot of decisions to be made. A lot of guys are going to now be a little bit more leery of racing hard, because if you are down to that one reset, if you were caught up at the first two cautions, you've got one backup truck left. And right now, again, what do we do?
I think you're going to see the leaders come in and go ahead and take the fuel and the tires, at least 2 tires to top off of that Sunoco fuel. Lap 17, you only got about a half a fuel tank left, and it's safe to say the majority of the field didn't fit on the last one, but they will go ahead and fit on this side.
And we do have a lucky dog going by.
Yes, sir, indeed. That is the 23 of Donald King getting the lucky dog.
Alrighty, good job to Donald King, another fine racer. We are on lap 17 of the KMA 3-year anniversary race tonight, underneath our second caution.
Speaking of that, I think it's time that we congratulate you, Scott, as being the founder and the owner of KMA, for putting on such a great program for the last 3 years. Congratulations to you, sir. You've put in a lot of hard work and done a lot of things for this iRacing community and these group of guys to make sure these races go on nightly.
Yes, sir, absolutely. But I'll tell you what, I could not do it without the teams and the admins, Cody Lipster, Jack Watts, and our sponsors, Jason Lucio and Richard Brose. And I'll tell you one more guy I have not yet mentioned tonight. That is my good friend Michael D'Amicchio with All Pro Broadcasting Network, and he is the official broadcaster for the guys here at KMA, and he does a wonderful job. He's got his own race team, All Pro Racing. A lot of guys, a lot of great competition, a lot of guys, a lot of fun.
Well, it looks like the leaders are going to take a chance and play the odds, and they're not going to go ahead and take any tires. They're not going to pit. They're going to actually stay out and play the odds.
Alrighty, how about it? Number 74, Abe Bowden, our race leader tonight on lap 18. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right so far. Hopefully the back situation I have going on will hold out for the rest of the race.
Alrighty, copy that. You are looking mighty fine out there in that Skittles car tonight. We were talking about you here up in the announcer's booth. Great job on the qualifying tonight. But do you think you can survive another 81 laps tonight and keep that Skittles car out there in the front?
I think the trick to that is staying right where I'm at. If I can stay here, all the carnage will happen behind me. I'll be good.
Alrighty, copy that. Positive attitude. I love it. I'll move you back down there with your buddies, and good luck to you tonight, Abe.
All right, thank you.
Alrighty, and that was KMA's very own 74 Abe Bowden in the Skittles car. I'll tell you what, he is a mighty fine driver, and again, we've got his teammate up there in P3, Mark Jackson, and Brandon Schnupp. KMA's very good friend, Glenn Jamison, in the number 63, taking up P5.
That just shows you, talking to Abe Bowden there in the 74, that the strategy is always in these guys' mind, where they want to be. Do they want to be in the front? Is it safer to be in the front, in the back? And as he said, you know, if you're out front, you only got to really worry about a couple of guys. You can only get in trouble from a couple of guys. Usually it's the people that you trust. Once you get in a group with the guys that you trust, you can pretty much run all day. It's when you start getting around drivers that you're not necessarily racing with on a day-to-day basis. That's when, you know, that's when things happen, because you don't anticipate their moves. They might do something drastic, or they might just miscalculate something because they're not used to your driving style.
Wow, that is very true and very correct. Now we are approaching lap 19. We're on lap 19, going green on lap 20 here. And that pit strategy, it is into full effect. Theoretically right now, Scott, if these trucks were to go caution-free, their next pit stop would be approximately on
about lap
52.
That's right. That's going to leave them with at least one more pit stop, and probably a short one at that, to give them that extra 20 laps from lap about 78 to 80 to the final green flag or checkered flag lap. So we're going to see what happens. I think the cautions are still going to we're going to have a couple more. We're going to see how that plays out, and we'll see if they decide to take advantage of that strategy or not.
Yes, sir, absolutely. Right now we do have 32 drivers on that lead lap. Our first truck lap down is number 1, Lloyd Sanders. Next truck down is number 88, Gary Burt, and Chris Voles, number 28, taking up that next lucky dog position all the lap down. So they're going to have to be careful, play it smart, and get their laps back.
Yeah, those guys are probably the only ones actually hoping for cautions right now, and then they're hoping that they're not wrapped up in them. But everybody else, I'm sure, is really be much happier seeing green flag all the way and green flag pit stops.
Oh, most definitely. I'd be happy seeing some green flag pit stops. Those are a blast to watch. Going into pit row, it is so critical here at the speedways, and pace car is off.
The pace car is off. Trucks are really, really close up front, the top 4.
Green flag, green flag.
The green flag flies. Abe Bowden on the loud pedal. Mark Jackson in the 3, right behind him on his bumper. Nathan Sylvia in the 31. And the 31 of Brandon Schnupp on the outside line are really tight, and I'm going to try and pull away, exiting turn 2.
Oh, those 4 front trucks, they have made a run. But that number 63, Glenn Jamison, he is in striking distance, and he's getting into that draft. And watch that 63 go.
The runner Brandon Schnupp gets out of line, goes high, and comes back middle. Don't know what that was about. I think he just got squirrely there. That slowed them down just a little bit, giving the 08 of Greg Murray to catch up.
Keeping an eye on Jason Lucio in the number 2, working with the 08 of Greg Murray. They're in that outside lane, holding steady, but it looks like Greg might be itching to go 3 wide. Right now, I do not think 3 wide would be a really good idea. Right now, all trucks are double file, playing it smart, but that they are dropping position in that outside lane. It is falling apart. No, I do not believe that. Number 74, Abe Bowden, has taken a pit stop yet. He's racing for P1 position with the 14 of Nathan Sylvia. If Abe has not pitted yet, I don't know if that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing.
Well, so far it's worked out for him. He hasn't been involved in any of the other two wrecks that have happened so far. He's trying to just pace this field, but the majority of the leaders up there, I don't believe, have taken a pit stop yet. And they're going to have to be thinking about a pit stop within the next 10 to 12 laps. And then on top of that, not only do they have to worry about that pit stop, but they got to make sure that they're in the correct lane. That way they can actually get on the pit road and off the track.
Oh, definitely. The worst thing to happen is getting trapped up on that outside lane and not being able to get down and being low on fuel. Once you're up there, you're oftentimes trapped.
It does look like this front pack here is starting to put a little distance on the second pack. We have stretched out into two different packs on the track now.
Nathan Sylvia being pushed hard on by that number 31 of Brandon Schnupp. But they are being challenged by Abe and Mark Jackson in that Gravedigger number 3. And Nathan is pulling out in front. As we approach lap 24, we've got a drag race to that line between Abe and Nathan. And we see Jason and Greg getting a little loose, and Jason Lucio, the number 2, is taking it 3 wide, passing Greg. You fall out of the line and you lose your spot, I tell you what.
Yeah, what happened there was a classic example of being too hard into the truck in front of you. The number 2 truck of Jason Lucio was all over the back of the other truck, and he had to check up to the leaders because I'm sure they're getting hot. He got squeezed out of line.
That is going to cost the 08 of Greg Murray, as he's going to lose a bunch of positions due to that little shuffle he had there.
Yeah, if you notice the number 63 of Glenn Jamison there in the Aragon passenger truck, he's staying off of the front too, just to give them a little bit of space. So when they enter that corner, that number 3 truck of Mark Jackson, he can back off just a little bit, tuck that nose out, get a little bit of air to that radiator, and not overheat.
Yes, sir. Now, falling back a little bit, we're going to look at Bobby Earhart in the number 71 being pushed by his teammate in the number 77. Looking at positions 7 and 8, and here they go, and they are going to the front, and it's looking like Bobby might be tampering with a little bit of 3 wide. He's wanting to do it. I can feel it. Right now, out there in the front, we've got Nathan Sylvia in the 14, being challenged by Brandon Schnupp and his teammate, Jason Lucio, in that number 2 Pro Automotive. Leaders holding steady.
Now, Scott, you're sitting at lap 25. You haven't pitted all race. You know you can only get 31, 32 laps. You're in the outside. What's your plan right now? Are you going to try to make position, or are you just going to try to get into that bottom lane? That way you know you have a clean entrance on the pit road.
I tell you what, right now I would be aiming directly for that inside lane, knowing I am going to have to pit. But I do believe I would stretch that fuel load out as long as I can. Not that we want a caution, but if you pit now and that caution comes out, I don't think you're going to be out there in the front no more.
This front pack looks really organized, but outside of this front pack, the rest of the field is really scattered out all over. There's a lot of chaos going on. Some 3 wide, some 2 wide. They're just losing a lot of ground to these front leaders. If they don't get their act together and get filed in a single file line, they're just going to end up getting left behind.
Definitely a lot of cooperation going on up here in the front, though, with our race leader, Nathan Sylvia, putting on a good show tonight.
And also, Brad, you mentioned the pit stop, since these leaders did not pit at all. But we have to keep in mind, also remembering that, we've had 2 cautions, so that means that they had saved some gas during the caution. So I'm sure they have some room to play. They might actually make it until lap 40 if they do a great job.
That's true, but the problem is they're up front, and that means they're going to be using a lot more throttle. They're going to use a lot more gas. That's going to reduce their fuel load. I'm guessing probably around 35, 36 is the most they're going to make it.
Now, you are absolutely right about those leaders. That's one thing about the leaders. They've got that foot smashed down to the floor. Now, if you're sitting back there in about position 15, 16, you can actually three-quarter throttle that accelerator because you're being pulled by draft in front, and you're being pushed on, so you can actually save 2 or 3 laps by conserving. You're out there in the middle of the pack.
Let's see, this is where it's starting to get a little dangerous here. If you notice that the leaders are looking at the number 14 of Nathan Silva and the number 74 of Dave Boat. If you watch, as soon as he gets out of that straightaway, he's ducking that truck. There's a lot of movement. He's trying to get a lot of air to that radiator. This truck is hot. He's got trucks to his outside. He can't go anywhere. He's forced to duck and dive as much as he can just to get a little bit of air to keep that truck under him.
Yes, sir. Right now we have got Brandon and the number 2, Jason Riccio, and we are 3 wide. 71 Bobby Everhart going to the outside, pushing on Jason Riccio. And that is going to hang the number 31 in the middle, but he's getting back up from Richard Brose. But it is a little bit too late. 74 up into the middle to help out the 31, and they are going to pass Nathan Sylvia, and they will maybe, possibly take the lead. We are 3 wide in front.
The 3 of Mark Jackson to the rescue of the 14 of Nathan Sylvia, as he was going to lose a bunch of positions, but the 3 got on his bumper there and kept him in line there. And speaking of the high line of 3rd lane, the 2 of Jason Russo is actually falling back as the 71 of Bobby Everhart cannot keep on his bumper.
Abe Bowden back down into that inside lane, back in front of Nathan Sylvia. Richard Rose getting ready to push on number 31, Brandon Schnupp. And once again, we have got the Skittles 74, Abe Bowden, up there in the front.
Yeah, Scott, that was a very aggressive move by the 74 of Abe Bowden to put it up in the middle lane. But the problem is I don't know so much that it was him trying to go for the lead as much as it was out of the necessity of a hot truck.
That is a very strong possibility. Now looking at how hard Nathan is pushing on Abe, you know his stuff's going to get hot real quick. Richard Brose sitting in P4, keeping a little bit of a safe distance off Brandon, knowing he's got to conserve those temperatures down.
If you notice, Scott, just that little bit of raciness started to bring that second pack right back up to the leaders.
We're going to get bunched up and get real busy here real quick.
Well, speaking of going from hero to zero, looking back at the number 2 of Jason Russo, he was up front, but after that 3 wide action there, the outside line died due to insufficient number of trucks. But he's going to be back in 16th place from about 5th, I believe.
Oh, that is a long drop right there. But I'll tell you what, the top 5 are definitely staying pretty consistent. So we got Mark Jackson, Richard Rose, Nathan Sylvia, Brandon Schnupp, and Abe Bowden holding steady, working together. But the 53 of Skip Lynn, on that outside, he's looking like he's going to get real busy here in a minute. We do have the number 3 Gravedigger, Mark Jackson, keeping a safe distance on that inside, sitting in P5. I don't know, Sean, if I was him, I'd be getting up there a little bit. That's a big gap.
Oh, it's absolutely. And, you know, the further away you pull away from the pack. Oh, Nathan gets loose, the 14 gets loose in turn 1 as he's going to stay on the apron, luckily. Great save by the 14 and everybody else around him avoiding that incident.
But unfortunately, that does leave that Skittles truck high and dry. We got a wreck. All right, we are getting underneath our 3rd caution tonight. We're going to back it up and take a look at the replay. I do believe Bobby Everhart might have been involved in that unfortunate break for Bobby Everhart. Now it does appear that we had a lot of bumping and grinding going on right there. Appears that the number 44 got into the back of the number 71, Bobby Everhart, shooting him down onto the track. And after that, there it goes, and that was another big one. Unfortunately, when Bobby Everhart came across track, he was completely out of control, could do nothing about it, getting into the number 44, thereby getting into the Tristan Beats in the 211. Unfortunate break right there.
Yeah, Scott, that was a very unfortunate break for those drivers, but it was very fortunate for our leaders who were just coming up on pit stops. Now they're going to be able to pit under caution with the rest of the trucks, and then most likely won't give up too much track position because of it.
And I'll tell you what, that is definitely going to be a game changer. Everybody right now better grab their calculators and redo their mathematics.
It looks like the
leaders
leaders
getting-
coming up the road.
Now, something our viewers here that are viewing the live race tonight, brought to you by All Pro Broadcasting, might take notice of. We are doing a morning race here tonight at Talladega. So the shades and hues are definitely different. That is something new we've started here with the recent upgrade with iRacing, and it gives us a lot more options and a lot more scenarios. And I tell you what, I really enjoy these morning races.
Yeah, that's one thing I will say. iRacing is always trying to bring new content to the forefront and give us a little bit more options as sim racers, and they're always trying to do something better. It looks like we have a new leader. It looks like the first car to stay out was actually the number 48 of Steve Dutz, followed by the 00 of James Brown, the number 9 of Kevin Utley. So it looks like we're going to have some new faces at the front of this field and see what we can do with that. And for once, those leaders are going to be back up in a little bit of traffic, so we'll get to see what they have coming back up through the field.
Alrighty, gentlemen, as we are on lap 34, I definitely want to give another big shout out to Over the Top Design and Paints. They are the official sponsor for KMA Racing, and you can find more of John Hedrick's work up there on Trading Paints. Got some great looking trucks out there. He painted us up for the Lucky Leprechaun, the Talladega, the Halloween. He is an awesome painter. Check him out on Trading Paints. John Hedrick. And we are back live with the KMA Racing 3-year anniversary race. We are on lap 35. Our current race leader is a number 48 of Steve Dutz.
That's right. The number 48 of Steve Dutz is running in the first position right now, followed by the 00 of James Brown. And I believe, Scott, you have a word with our leader.
I do. Steve, have you got a copy?
Yes, I do.
All right, we are on, approaching one to go on lap 35. Tell us what you're thinking right now, buddy.
I'm thinking about saving fuel right now because it's going to be, I got about 7.5 gallons left, so hoping I can stretch this out for a little bit.
All right, but you talk about saving fuel. You are in that P1 position. I'm not so sure how much fuel you're going to save without jacking up them guys behind you. I think you ought to go hammer down. What do you think?
Yeah, I should think about hammering down, but I'm trying to save fuel into these cautions, see if I can save enough.
Alrighty, copy that, and good luck to you, sir, in the number 48 tonight, and I'll move you back down with the partners, and we hope to see you in victory lane.
Thank you.
All right, and it does look like we're on one to go. The trucks are starting to double up into their pace lines, getting ready to go back green. So we had a pretty good reset there. It looks like the majority of the field did pit. Got 4 tires and a brand new full tank of Sunoco race fuel. So we should be in for a good long run here if all goes well. It's going to be interesting to see what these new leaders up at the front go with that number 48 of Steve Dukes and the 00 of James Brown.
Now, speaking of that, James Brown, he is a driver with Cora. Once again, I'm going to give him a shout out. That is Cora, Championship Online Racing Association, a recent contributor to support the cause here at KMA Racing. Great driver. Check them guys out on Cora. And you know, Brad, that's the one great thing about iRacing. You've got such a variety of places to go, guys to hang out with. Big fans of iRacing right here.
Oh yeah, iRacing has really driven home the community base. It's not only just that you race against these guys, you learn who they are, you build friendships, you build teams, but you really end up looking out for the guys in the races. And a track like this where you really have to have a couple of trucks to make any way, you know, you have to live and die by your friends.
Alrighty, and pace car is off. Take her away, Sean.
Yes, sir. The 48 holding pace speed. Green flag flies. The 48 of Steve Dukes finds the loud pit and puts it down. So does the 00 of James O'Brown. The 15 of Richard Brosey saw that start coming as he's going to be all over the back bumper of James O'Brown. Kevin Atley did not have a good start as he's going to try and catch up slowly to the leader, who's Steve Dukes, getting some help from the 87 of Raymond Rittenauer.
Now, Raymond Rittenauer and Abe Bowden in the 74, they were your leaders before, and they've been pretty much controlling this field for the entire race, so let's see how long it takes for them to get back to the front. Are they going to put it 3 wide to get back there, or are they content with running and get the 6th place right now?
All right, well, tell me, Scott, right now, if you are a race leader, I bet your stomach is in knots right now, sitting on lap 37.
Well, it depends kind of what my fuel load's going to be looking like. I'm just going to be sitting up there biding my time and making sure that the accidents that are bound to be coming down the pike are going to be happening behind me. It's still a little too early in this race for me to actually start getting nervous. I'm more concerned with holding my line, making sure that I'm keeping that truck clean, and making sure that I'm getting ready for my pit stop whenever that might be.
Yes, I think that's a great point. I think that the most nervous I've ever been in doing these races, it's never when you're leading. At the other tracks, yeah, it's when you're leading, but when you're leading at a super speedway, I think that's when you're the most calm. It's when you're sitting back there at about 15th, 16th in the middle of the pack that your stomach's in knots because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and we got the front, James Brown with Cora diving down to that inside. That was a little bit of a risky move right now. That inside lane is bumper to bumper to bumper. Outside lane trying to make a move. 74 pushing on. Richard Brose trying to get him up there in the lead. Outside lane definitely starting to make some time. Richard Brose racing it out with James Brown for P1 and P2. Steve Dukes, Abe Bowden, Kevin Utley rounding off the top 5 on lap 39.
To drag race down the back straightaway as the 15 is going to lead a slight nose entering turn 3. But then the 00 on the bottom is coming back with a huge run, being pushed by the 48 of Steve Dukes. The 74 of Abe Bowden is disconnected from the 15 as it's gonna cost them going to start finish line.
We are double foul. About the first time 15. We got a car shooting down. He's off the track and he is safe, and we are going to remain green.
Looks like that was the 53 of Skip Lynn. So great job, Skip, for keeping you off the track, and nice save not hitting the wall.
Oh, definitely. Right now, James Brown still leading that race, being challenged by KMA sponsor Richard Brose. Put on a magnificent race tonight. Number 15, Richard Brose.
It looks like that bottom line really got shaken up by that truck going off. Right now, you have a big gap between the number 87 and the number 3 of Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson doesn't have a truck directly behind him. He's hoping somebody's going to drop down to that bottom line and push him up. Here comes the 63 of Glenn Jameson. He's going to push him up. Probably close that bottom line back up, and then we'll get back to racing.
63 Glenn Jameson driving that arrogant bastard truck. Another fine paint job out there tonight.
Back in the 25th section, we've got trucks going 3 wide, and that accident really kind of jumbled everybody back here up.
Yeah, it looks like they're 3 wide, probably 5 deep back there.
Number 90, Craig Kinney, pushing pretty hard on that inside lane, being followed by number 28, Chris Voiles in the Hardee's truck tonight. Number 23 being hung out high and dry in that middle lane.
Well, Mr. Parker, that's not something you normally see back there in the back there. Normally, the trucks that fall off towards the back, they're going to run very safe. They're going to run single file, maybe double at the most, but they're trying to make sure that they don't get involved in any incidents. Usually, you're not going to see 3 wide in the back like that.
No, you're not. That accident with earlier on, that caused everyone to hit their brakes, everyone to slow down. Everyone thought a caution was going to come out. When it didn't, they all got back on the throttle, and they're all trying to basically jockey for some real estate while they're getting back up to speed, because they really don't want to lose much time to that lead pack if they could possibly help it.
Well, I tell you what, looking at the front of the pack and then looking back there, a little bit back there in the back of the pack, you have got 2 completely different groups of racers right here. Front, nice and tidy, clean and swift, double file. Back there in the back, we're 3 wide, we're all over. I don't know where I'm going to go, so I don't know if I want to be in the front or the back right now. Ivan is going to be in a little bit of a tough spot here. Inside lane checking up to catch him, and outside lane rolling on.
Yeah, Ivan caught a big break there. Wasn't quite sure what was going to happen. They had a real high closure rate on him. That could have been really bad.
Currently on lap 43, our race leader is once again Chris Voiles, new race. No, that's not right. Richard Brose in the lead tonight on lap 43.
We've got a loose track.
Got a couple trucks in the grass. Got a wreck going coming out of the trial.
Looks like that involved the 88 of Gary Burt, the 08 of Greg Murray, and the 28 of Chris Voiles.
Now, Sean, that was happening back there where all that 3 wide was going on in the back, and it looks like somebody lost a little bit of focus.
Oh, and actually what brought out the caution was the 88 of Gary Burt was alone, and similar to what happened to Ivan Garcia in the 72 there. They caught him so quickly they had to check up. They had to slow down. That's exactly what happened with Gary Burt. They just couldn't check up in time or slow down in time.
Yeah, that closing rate between a car in the back and then a car by itself is probably about of a difference of what? I'd say 10, 12 mile an hour, and you run up on them like nothing, and next thing you know, a place like Talladega where you have that solid yellow line you're not supposed to go under, you run out of room.
Definitely, that was the 28 pushing on the 08, and we're going to look at it real close, but it does look like the 08, his tires of that truck was definitely on that yellow line, gave 88 a little bit of a taillight punch right there, and sent him for a ride.
The race leader is the 15 of Richard Brose. The 15 of Richard Brose, and in second place is going to be the 00 of James O'Brown. Oh, actually, I'm sorry about that. The leader is actually the 00 of James O'Brown. Second place is the 15 of Richard Brose.
And I tell you what, we've got a lot of action going on here. We are on lap 44. Now with 6 laps to go, if everybody remembers what we were talking about tonight. we are going to have Mastercraft Painting is going to give out $10 to the guy who leads lap 50. So I'm not sure if that's going to play into effect here tonight. Hopefully nobody will get real anxious up there in the front and bust their way to a $10 caution. Definitely not worth it. But again, big shout out to Mastercraft Painting for offering us up $10 for the leader on lap 50.
Looks like the 38 of Donald Sadowski just got that lucky dog as he is going to get one of his laps back. Looks like that is going to actually put him a lap down from 2 laps down. So great job by Donald Sadowski to keep his truck clean and get the lucky dog.
Now we still do have 30 trucks on the lead lap, and then it looks like we're going to end up with 3 trucks 1 lap down, a couple more at 2 laps down. I do believe we have only lost 1 truck so far for this race, so we still do have 42 trucks in the field.
All right, right now joining us up here in the booth is 00 James Brown representing Cora in the KMA 3-year anniversary race. How are you doing, James? You are our race leader right now.
Yeah, but I don't think I'm going to lead lap 50 because I got a pit.
Now, is that due to choice or are you out of fuel?
I've got 3 gallons left. Yeah, I got a pit. If I want to win, I got to surrender the $10.
Alrighty, copy that. I want to give a big shout out to Cora. Tell us a little bit about Cora and what you do over there. You got about 15 seconds, buddy.
Well, we race the Sunday Money Series, and it'll be coming again this fall. Over the past 5 seasons, we paid out over $35,000 to our drivers.
$35,000. Wow, that is impressive. All right, gentlemen, check out Cora. That is Championship Online Racing Association. I'll tell you what, I'm going to have to get me some of that. Good job, James.
Thanks, Scott.
All right, I'll move you back down, buddy. All right, now with our current race leader taking that pit stop, that is definitely going to change the front lineup. Our current race leader is Richie B, driving the number 15 tonight, followed by 74A Bowden. Raymond Rittenauer, Glenn Jamison in the Arrogant Bastard truck, getting up there to number 4, and Jason Lucio, Pro Automotive, taking up number 5.
See early on here, if you notice, the top 10 have pretty much been about the same names. You got a couple of comers and goers that have gone throughout the night. But that doesn't mean it's going to be that way for the entire night. We're getting ready to come up upon halfway of the race. You've got a lot of guys that have just been hanging out in the back. People like Cody Lippenshire in the 96, Craig Kenny in the 90. Those guys aren't going to just hang out in the back all night. You got to give them about another 20, 30 laps. They're going to start moving their way towards the front. So this is to be picking up before too long.
Oh, definitely, and we are approaching the halfway mark, and things are going to be getting a little bit anxious as we progress on. Been so far a pretty good race tonight. We are under caution number 4 for 47 laps. Hopefully we will definitely be getting into some green flag pit stops as these guys begin to settle down. I'll tell you what, Scott, I am really happy to see our sponsor, Richie B, up there in the front. That is a man who works hard, and oftentimes he gets into a lot of bad luck, gets into an uncomfortable position at times, but he is a man of heart. And I hear he makes really good pizza. Big shout out to Richie B's Pizza, our current race leader.
That's right. It's good to see him up there, and I'm waiting for that pizza so we can verify that information.
Hey, make sure you send one down here as well.
Looks like we're double foul here, ready to go green. Still have the race leader, Richard Brosey, in the 15 leading the bottom lane, and beside him is going to be the 74 of Abe Bowden. We have seen a lot of Abe, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot more of him till the race is over tonight.
Now another driver I want to give a big shout out to is the number 66 Edward Bray, KMA's very own. He is in the number 7 position. He's going to get that KMA Screaming Eagle 66 up there in the front. I guarantee you that. We're going to keep a close eye on Edward Bray as this race approaches. the final 30 or 40 laps, he will be making a move.
Looking at Jack Watts right behind that is 74th. Abe Bowden looks like he has some right rear damage. Let's just hope that won't affect him too much this race.
Well, you know, Sean, I don't believe that right rear damage really does affect your forward momentum, but if you got damage on that front grille, you are a sitting duck dead in the water.
Oh yes, absolutely.
We are on lap 48. Our top five: Richard Brosey, Abe Bowden, Raymond Rittenauer, Jack Watts, and Glenn Jamieson. And pace car is off.
Yes, sir. 15 setting up the start here. Green. Richard Brosey finds that gas pedal, puts it down. The 74 of Abe Bowden sees it coming. The 77 of Jack Watts got a bad start, but the 87 of Raymond Rittenauer is all over the back bumper of Richard Brosey.
And here comes that arrogant bastard truck, Glenn Jamieson, pushing hard, making that inside lane work. We have got a 3-on-2 competition going here. Abe Bowden starting to fall back up. Now Abe Bowden is going forward, being pushed on by number 77, Jack Watts, making a run on that middle lane.
Looking back at 66 of Edward Bray has no help as he is gonna get overtaken by the bottom lane here. I just hope somebody gets up to his bumper and pushes him before it's too late. Oh, never mind. The 48 of Steve peaks the outside line and goes back low and then goes back high. Oh, we got some fun.
And the leaders are out. They wrecking in the front, gentlemen. Oh, the leaders have wrecked one another, and we are underneath a caution. Bad hit right there. We're going to take a look at that. It appears that Richie B and the number 74 Abe Bowden, position 1 and 2, locked it up at about the same time that 3 and 4, 87 and 77 locked it up. The top 4, bumper grinding. Didn't work out.
That's right. It looked like the 87 of Richard Rittenauer just came up a little bit and managed to clip the left rear quarter panel of Abe Bowden.
Unfortunate break for the top 4 right there. Great drivers that now. We're going to have to pit in, get a backup truck, but I do believe they all do still have all 3 resets. But wicked wreck here at the KMA 3-year anniversary race on lap 50.
Looking at the 77 of Jack Watts during that wreck, he had nowhere to go. He was right in the middle of it.
Unfortunately, on these speedways, that is the way it goes. And I'll tell you what, if we could get an aerial shot of that, oh my goodness, that is complete mayhem. Now those drivers that were in the back, locking down on them brakes, I'm sure they got through it. And unfortunate caution for the front, but for the guys in the back, this is a game changer. A lot of trucks caught up into that. Complete mayhem on the track on lap 50.
And that wreck would not really affect those leaders up front, as that was their first incident. So luckily for them, they still have they're still going to have 2 quick repairs or 2 backup trucks left after they use the first one.
I expect most drivers will be pulling into pit row, getting 4 tires and a full tank of center code fuel.
That's right. This one caught everyone in just the right place. There were trucks scattering every direction. We saw trucks from as far back as 25th place diving to take cover, and they were still getting hit by trucks coming off the track. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this shakes up as far as the leaderboard goes.
All right, we're going to break for a commercial, gentlemen, and we will be right back.
Hey, this is Garrett Smithley, driver the number 0 JD Motorsports Chevrolet, and you're watching All Pro Broadcasting.
And welcome back to the KMA 3-year anniversary race. We are on lap 53. Our current race leader is the number 2, Jason Riccio, driving the Pro Automotive truck tonight, followed by his teammate, Bobby Everhart, in the Comus 71. Position 3 belongs to Wally Tierheimer, Max Velocity's very own, number 57, and Loose Lugnuts, number 4, Wesley Holland, and Jared Johnson, number 37, and P5. All right, how about our current race leader, Jason Riccio? How you doing tonight? Real quick, buddy.
Doing pretty good. Just trying to stay out of trouble.
All right, are you feeling pretty good about being in P1 right now with 47 laps to go?
Yeah, I'm liking it. Using a little pit strategy here. Hopefully we can make it on one more and bring it home.
All right, yes, sir, and good luck to you. Nothing would make me more prouder than to see that Pro Automotive truck in victory lane tonight at the KMA 3-year. A big shout out to you for the sponsorship tonight. I greatly appreciate that, sir.
Yeah, thank you, and thanks to KMA.
All right, I'll move you back down there with your buddies and bring her home tonight, Jason.
We'll try.
All right, now something as we do approach this restart on lap 54 that I did not mention earlier, as a surprise to the guys tonight, my sponsors Richie B and Jason Riccio have put up a very generous reward packet for every driver tonight that does finish tonight's race. So we'll be real anxious to see payouts. We'll post them tomorrow on Facebook, and a big shout out to them guys. So, Brad, pretty good race tonight so far, but we are just over the halfway point, and again, back to that pit strategy. Hopefully we're getting some green flag racing tonight, but what do you do now?
Well, the complexion of the whole race just kind of changed with that last pit stop, or with that last caution lap. You had a lot of front runners, such as the 74 of A. Bowden, the 09 of Kevin Utley. A lot of front runners are now 2 laps down, so right now you're going to want to just log a little bit of laps, make it to that last pit stop, and then pedal to the metal.
Yes, sir, and the pace car is off here.
Green flag, green flag.
The green flag flies. Jason Russo on the loud ped. On the outside line is the 71 of Bobby Everhart. Behind him is going to be the 4 of Wesley Holland. The 57 Wally Tierheimer is the second truck on the bottom, right behind the 2 of Jason Russo. But he is going to slow Jason Russo down as he was not on his bumper when the green flag had flown.
I'll tell you what, number 71 Bobby got a massive push from number 4 Wesley Holland. They are challenging that inside lane with Jason and Wally. Got a drag race down the backstretch. Everybody stayed solid at T-wide. Nice restart here on lap 55.
And we haven't really spoken much of the 57 of Wally Tierheimer or the 4 of Wesley Holland. Great job seeing them up front because, you know, they were way in the back, and after halfway, they're throwing themselves up front.
Now, I do know that Wesley Holland and Jason Hughes, they are teammates. Wesley and Jason definitely will be trying to hook up to get around that 71, I expect.
Oh, looks like we got some 3 wide coming from the back. It looks like you have the number 87 of Raymond Redfire trying to make his way back up to the front.
Now, just past the halfway mark, these guys are going to be going 3 wide. We're going to see a lot more 3 wide action as these guys get into it's go time.
The 4 of Wesley Holland is in the wall. We got a wreck happening in turn 3.
And they say cautions breed more cautions, and that's simply what we're seeing here tonight. You had drivers that were involved in a caution that got veered back a little bit in the back, and they were trying to waste no time getting back to the front. And unfortunately, 3 wide this early with different drivers in the front, different levels of experience, and unfortunately the caution flag flies again.
Now, what set that into motion was the number 4 and the number 71, Wesley and Bobby Everhart. Tagging a little side scraping on the bumper action right there, sending the number 4 back and bringing out that unfortunate caution here on lap 56.
Looks like what had happened there was that the 4 was already occupying the high line, but the 71 of Bobby Everhart tried to occupy the exact same space, and you know that does not work out at these super speedway races. They did not see that coming as they were full wide and did not even know it.
Now, unfortunately, once you are damaged here at Talladega in these high-powered Silverado and Tundras, and you go out of control, there's nothing you can do, Sean, but hang on for that ride and hope you come out on 4 wheels.
Oh yes, sir, definitely. Just have to hope for the best and, keep your head high.
Well, once again, our current race leader is Jason Ruscio, Pro Automotive. I do not believe he was involved in that, so I expect him definitely to stay out and hold on to that P1 spot.
Yes, Scott, this will definitely help him with this fuel mileage that he was trying to accrue just to make sure he can make it on one more stop.
And speaking of the, pit stops or fuel strategy, these drivers have to pit on lap 70 or a little bit after lap 70 in order for them to be able to make it. Because, like we said, a full tank is about 31 to 32 laps, depending on how well you're pushing it or how much you're pushing it. So if they want to make it all the way, they have to pit on lap 70 and beyond.
Oh, no doubt. Now, joining us up here right now in the announcer's booth is number 57, Wally Tierheimer. Talk to us about your race tonight, Wally.
Well, I tell you what, it's been a grind, and started in the middle of the pack and kind of got a little bit shuffled a little bit back. I've been in between 10 and 20 the whole night, and I was commenting to the guys in here, it's like it's rough being in those positions because you're in a lot of stuff. So happy to be up here again, finally. I shouldn't say again, I should say finally. And I'm hoping to have a little bit clearer sailing, but it's been a lot of fun.
Well, now that you are up here, finally, as you said, what are you going to do with it? You're still going to have to pit one more time. You're looking at about 30 laps. We are on lap 58, so you're definitely going to get some fuel. What would be your strategy tonight, Wally?
Well, I think I can go to about 74, and I'm just hoping that maybe something happens. I don't know. I mean, if it's all clear green flags, I'm happy to do that because I'm ready for the challenge. I wanted to say that I hope I didn't cause that. I don't think if you look on the replay that I was any part of that accident. I think that happened a little bit after I moved up into the high lane, but I wanted to make sure that I didn't do that. So.
Oh, no, sir. That 57 Hardee's truck, it was free and clear, and you're running a great race tonight, and hopefully we'll see that Hardee's truck in victory lane.
All right, man. Thanks a lot. You guys, I'm sure, are doing a great job up there, and thanks a lot for the room. Thanks a lot and congratulations on 3 years, Scott. This is amazing. Amazing racing with you.
All right, I'll tell you what else is amazing is the guys you race against, and Wally, you were a part of Max Velocity. Love them guys over there at Max Velocity, and good luck to you.
All right, man. Thanks.
Now, Scott, so you see the difference. The guys up front that need a little bit more fuel, they wouldn't mind seeing something happen. Those guys in the back that are in with all those other trucks, they don't want to see anything happen because that means they're going to tear up another truck.
Oh, most definitely. And as we near lap 60, strategy and pitting, it is becoming ever more so critical.
Yeah, strategy is definitely going to be something interesting here because getting ready to come around for lap 60, you got to wonder, are you going to have a couple of people take that chance and do a little short pit as soon as they get over that lap 70 mark, get in and get all the fuel they need?
That's what I was just asking.
Are they going to stay out?
How about it, Skip Glenn? This is Scott up in the announcer's booth. You got a copy, brother?
Yeah, I'm here.
All righty, you are in P3 tonight on lap 59. Talk to us about your race real quick.
Oh, race is great. Tide Tundras, handling good. Just trying to get back to the front for the third time now. First got caught up a little bit, caught the apron, spun myself. Well, not spun, but saved it. But now it's just trying to get comfortable, sit back for the next 40, see how it goes.
Alrighty, how are you feeling? Are you feeling confident you're going to be able to keep that number 53 truck up there in the front? You're driving the Tide truck tonight, looking good. Are you going to pit early? You're going to stretch it out? You're going to drain that tank? What's your plan?
Yeah, we're going back and forth on the radio right now with my teammates, discussing once we hit that lap 70 mark what we're going to do. So we're not sure yet. We'll see how it plays out.
Alrighty, copy that. And who are your teammates for the night? Who can we keep an eye on?
I'm running with Mark Jackson and Donald Zadusky.
Alrighty, 2 great drivers right there. Good luck to you tonight, bud, and I'll put you back there with your buddies, and maybe we'll see that number 5-3 Tide truck in victory lane tonight.
Thanks, man. Look forward to it.
And we are on lap 60. So tell me, Scott, if you were to sum up tonight's first 60 laps of the KMA3 year, how would you sum that up in 15 seconds or less?
15 seconds or less, I would say there's just been a few minor mistakes that has caused some big accidents, and hopefully we're going to get everybody straightened out. We're going to have a good run to the finish.
That's right, we're looking for it.
Go ahead, Brad.
We're definitely looking forward to this finish. We still got 25 drivers on the lead lap, 27. After lap 25 on the lead lap, we have 2 1 lap down, multiple drivers 2 lap down. So there's plenty of trucks still in contention. Plenty of drivers that have been biding their time, waiting before they make the move, and we're going to see some of that coming shortly.
Definitely going to be an exciting 39 laps coming up here. We are approaching lap 61. Underneath our 6th caution at the KMA3 here, Jason Riccio, our race leader, Wally Tierheimer in 2nd. Skip Lane bringing up 3rd. Bobby Everhart in 4th, and J.R. Johnson. Pace car is off.
The pace car is off. The 53 already on the rear bump of the 2, ready to go.
Bobby Everhart not up there in the front. He's laying really back, allowing that 53 in the 2 to get that start. 71 jumping down to that inside lane, leaving Wally high and dry and alone in that middle lane.
57 Wally Tierheimer all alone on the outside line, trying to get some help here. Looks like he's got the double zero of James Brown right behind him. Gonna start pushing on that 57 truck. Behind the 00 is gonna be the 89 of Matthew Quick. Have not seen much of him tonight, but he's finally up here.
All right, 53 edging out to that middle, going to get a shove from the 57.
15,
Caution
32
is
get
out.
together. 15, 32. The 32 goes across the track up into the wall. Looks like the 15 got into the back of the 32, and the 32 checked up and sent him for a ride.
Now, while you were saying earlier tonight, Brad, cautions do indeed breed cautions, and that does bring us under our 7th caution for the night.
Oh yeah, definitely. Looking back at that wreck, yeah, you're right. But what happened there was actually a hook. Looks like 15 of Richard Brosey came up really quickly on the 32 of Matthew Heavner, who just drifted a little bit close to the yellow line. And the 15 of Richard Brosey did not see it coming and ended up hooking his right rear and sent him sideways.
Now, we were talking about the tremendous amount of pull you can get off of that rear draft of these Silverados and Tundras, and that is exactly what happened. Richie caught that draft. He was getting sucked up like a vacuum cleaner. Might should have lifted just a little bit more, but hey, it's Talladega. It is a speedway. It is racing.
Now, Mr. Fenstermacher, 62 laps done, 38 to go. You pit now under what's happening, multiple cautions. You might be able to stretch it to make it to that end. What do you do?
Right now is really a tight situation. Me personally, I'm going to go in, I'm going to top off with gas. I might grab my last 2 tires and try and maintain as much track position as I can. If that caution does come out, I can swing in there, do a quick stop and go, get my gas, get back out there. If it doesn't, then I've got a little bit more gas in the tank. I can go a little bit farther and make that green flag pit stop and spend as little time on pit road as possible.
Yeah, it's that really part on the edge as far as right now a strategy that you really got to rack your brain. You can go in, you could possibly, with the amount of cautions we've had, be able to stretch it that extra 5-6 laps that you need to make it to the end. Or do you stay out? Do you play that for that card of trying to make it as long as you go.
I think the key at this point is how long are you willing to spend on pit road? I'd just say, give me the gas and get me out.
All right, joining us up here in the booth is our position 4, number 71, Bobby Everhart. How you doing, Bobby?
I'm doing all right, Scott.
All right, talk to us about your race tonight. Silver Ocean Lap 64. 32 laps to a tank. You're in P4 position. Do you pit? Do you don't pit? What is your game plan, Bobby?
Well, we're planning on not pitting right now. We're going to try to hold out and take that last fuel stop so we won't have to stop no more. The Coma Unwind car has just been in a whole lot of accidents back there and having to come from the rear and get back up to the front every time. But it is what it is, and that's why they call it racing.
Now, talk to us about your resets. Do you have any more backup trucks available to you? Do you got to drive like a bat out of hell? Are you going to take your time? Do you got to be careful? What's your situation at?
Well, I've got a reset left. I mean, you know, those first 2 cautions we had near the first of the race, I had to use 2 of them. I got sideswiped with 1 and spun out, and then somebody else hit me in the rear end when somebody else lost it in 1 on a restart, so it just wiped me out. But I'm down to 1 reset, and hopefully I won't have to use it.
All right, I definitely hope not either, but good luck to you in the number 71 Coma Unwind truck. You're looking pretty good out there in that aqua blue, and hopefully we'll see that blue in the victory lane circle tonight. Good luck to you, Bobby.
Thank you.
And we are on lap 64 underneath our 7th caution of the night with the KMA Racing 3-year anniversary race. Our race leader currently is Jason Riccio. Brill Automotive, number 2, Skip Lynn, number 53, Wally Tierheimer. P3, number 57, Bobby Everhart, and the Coma 71, James O'Brien with Cora, number 5.
And also, looks like we have some new drivers in the top 10. We got J.R. Johnson in that 37. We got Donald Sadowski in the 38. We got Kyle Kisselback in the 33. And Ivan Garcia in the 72. Those drivers we haven't seen much of, and now here they are in the top 10 getting ready to go at the front.
And we do have that arrogant bastard we've been talking about, number 63, Glenn Jameson, sitting there in P10 spot.
Now, if you are one of those drivers that have been hanging out in the back of the field just trying to stay out of the cautions, this would be probably your time that you'd want to go ahead, pit in, top off. Go ahead and play that gamble. You have nothing to lose. You've been in the back. You know, stretching it an additional 5 laps isn't exactly a big stretch with the amount of cautions that we've had tonight. And it might end up being what the move that makes you win this race when it's all said and done.
All right, copy that. Yes, sir, Brad. How about that arrogant bastard, Glenn Jameson, driving the number 63 truck? Have you got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy here.
Alrighty, you are in P10, if I am correct, sir. How's your race going, and what is your plan of attack to bring that bastard truck home tonight?
Yeah, it's going pretty good. I'm just taking my time, watching traffic in front of me here, trying to pick my places right and left, riding nice and easy. You know, the guys in the garage worked on this truck real good, got a lot of aerodynamics here. We're just taking it nice and easy. We're waiting for about the last 15 or 20, about the last 15 or 20, then we're going to let it all out.
Just got to survive.
Yes, sir. Good luck surviving, and we definitely hope to see that gray and black number 63 arrogant bastard truck in the victory lane tonight, driven by Glenn Jameson. Good luck to you, Glenn.
Right on, guys. Appreciate it.
And we are getting ready to take lap 66, return to some green flag racing here. Still looking for those green flag pit stops tonight. Been a little bit of a rough house match tonight, but I tell you what, we got some great drivers in here. What do you think, Scott?
I think what we're going to see for these last couple laps, we're going to see people starting to really pick up the pace. We're going to see them really jockeying for position. We're seeing looking for that last pit stop and seeing what they're going to do in there is going to be real interesting.
You got a lot of teammates starting to come together too. If you remember on that last one, we were talking about the number 53 of Skip Lynn, and he said one of his teammates was that 38 of Donald Sadowski. what do you know? The 38 of Donald Sadusky's now sitting in 7th. So teammates are going to start coming together. They're going to be looking for each other a lot more. Those are the guys they run with. Those are the guys they trust. Those are the guys that are going to go with them and try to get this victory.
Oh, yes, sir. Absolutely. The pace car is off here. As they're going to be lining up here, double foul, ready to go green any moment now.
Green flag, green flag.
The green flag flies. They're all on the loud pedals. They all saw it coming. They got a good start. 53 of Skip Lynn on the outside line, right side by side with the 2 of Jason Russo. We got a couple of trucks off the track in the back there. Don't know what's going on.
I don't know if the number 72 of Ivan Garcia missed a shift or what, but the rest of the field closed up on him. It sounds like 38 is actually the one that missed the shift and bunched up the field, and a lot of drivers had to take evasive action there.
Yes, absolutely. And great job by everybody avoiding a wreck and being aware of what's going on around them. Looking back at the front, looks like the pack is actually a little bit broken up. The outside line doesn't really have a lot of trucks at the moment, as they're gonna lose a little bit of ground. Looks like the 33 of Kyle Kisselback and the 14 of Nathan Sylvia back in the mix. Looks like those two are working together, as they're gonna go to the outside line to take it 3 wide.
Yeah, I don't know if that's quite exactly the best option right now with the amount of trucks that are up in that line. I think they're ultimately going to have to fall behind the 71 there, Bobby Everhart, just to make up a little distance. There's just not enough trucks there to make that kind of a move yet.
Oh yes, absolutely. And since these guys just started, since it just went green, all these trucks up here all have fresh motors. So you're not gonna do anything by trying to go 3 wide, because you all have the same exact speed, and actually the high line is a longer way around the track, so which means they're actually going to fall back if anything.
Well, now talking about fresh engines there, Sean, we're looking at the number 14, Nathan Sylvia. His left rear end is pretty severely caved in. He's pushing on the number 33 of Kyle Kasselback, getting ready to take the number 71, Bobby Everhart, 3 wide. Doesn't look like that rear end is causing him any issues, though.
Yeah, the 71 of Bobby Everhart, I thought about taking it 3 wide, but it doesn't look like anybody wants to go with him, and ultimately, he's going to be the loser in that one. You really have to be strategic when you make the move, and if you make the move, otherwise you can go exactly from that and hero to 0 really quickly.
Oh, yes, sir, as 71 is losing positions, and he is still losing positions, going to pass left and right. Unfortunate break for the 71.
And speaking of that left rear damage of the 14 of Nathan Sylvia, yeah, I don't think it's going to affect him that much. And yeah, Scott Kulavik, you were absolutely right. The rear damage is not as important as the front or hood damage.
Now we are talking about the number 33, Kyle Kasselback, currently sitting in P4, another newcomer to the front of the race tonight in the KMA 3 year, pushing on that number 53, Skip Lane. Skip Lynn making a run on Jason Riccio. Pretty interesting battle going up on here in the front.
Yeah, it looks like the leaders are catching a little bit of lap traffic right now. Hopefully that everybody minds their P's and Q's and keeps their head on the swivel and they make it through without an issue.
Jack Watts, number 77, allowing that safe passage for those leaders.
And looks like we now have a lot of teammates next to each other, or close enough to each other. Remember this 50 of Skip Lynn mentioned that his teammates were the 3 of Mark Jackson and the 38 of Donald Sadusky. And currently the 38 of Donald Sadusky is actually really close to Skip Lynn. He is in 7th place. And looks like the 57 of Wally Tierheimer, the 33 of Kyle Kisselback, and the 14 of Nathan Sylvia are all a team. So I think the only driver without a team close to him at the moment is the 2 of Jason Russo.
But you know what I'm seeing here, Sean, is that outside lane, they are bumper to bumper to bumper in the top 3. Inside lane, not quite pushing so hard. What is that about, Brad?
Well, the inside lane generally won't push as hard for the simple fact that they have a shorter distance around the track. So the outside definitely has to be a little bit closer to make up that difference. But the inside does have the luxury of being able to back it out a little bit especially in the corners, to make up that distance. So they save their motors a little bit. They also know with the outside lane being out there, there's less room to move that truck around, if you will, to get the right of that radiator. So you can't just be full on it all the time. There's a lot of checkups that happen on the inside lane versus the outside lane. So the outside lane is just a little bit easier to run, basically.
Yes, sir. And 53 abandoning that outside lane, dropping down to the inside, but it bites him in the butt, and he loses position, being overtaken by Cora's another 33, Kyle Kasselback, going for his first lap lead of tonight, but being challenged hard.
Yeah, as these laps tick on, you're going to see this intensity pick up. You're going to see guys that have been working with each other all race. All of a sudden, you go into that corner thinking he's going to go with you. You're not his teammate. He's gone. It looks like number 2, Jason Ruscio and the 71 of Barbadera are actually going to pit this lap. We are at lap 72, coming to 73, so we are in that final pit stop window. So green flag pit stops may be happening shortly.
I know we were talking about that suction, that side, that's like a vacuum cleaner. We have got the number 57 sucking up on number 38. He's going to get a big run here, coming up in that middle lane, being pushed on by the number 41 of Sean Ermica.
Now with green flag pit stops ensuing, all these guys, what they really got to worry about is being in the right lane to be able to get on pit lane, get off pit lane. Oh, it looks like
leaders loose, leaders loose. And we are still green, but what a shake up there in the front row.
Looks like the 33 of Kyle Kasselback touched that apron, and man, that apron is not your friend when you're doing 200 miles an hour, that's for sure.
Now this is going to be real interesting to see what these guys do up here in front. That middle lane, hooking up 3 trucks long, and 38 shooting down into the front, but going to get challenged by the number 57, Wally Tierheimer, and 41, Sean Ermacora.
The 23 of Donald King on the outside line, left out to dry as he's going to fall back at a very, very, very fast rate. He goes from 9th position all the way back to about, let's look here.
Looks like we got 88 up in the wall.
Oh.
We are clear. We are lapping cars left and right, gentlemen. Leaders holding strong on lap 74.
Yeah, you can definitely see where these drivers have to keep their head on a swivel if they don't know what's going on around them. If they're distracted in any type of way, they're going to be able to cause a real big incident because anything can happen at any time at these super speedway tracks.
And go ahead, Sean.
Sorry, I was just going to say, and that really messed up the 23 of Donald King. It messed up his run because he came to almost a complete stop just so he could not run into the back of the slow car. That was the 88 of Gary Burke. So he's going to lose the pack and probably get lapped here shortly.
All right, now we're looking at the number 38 of Donald Sadusky leading the showdown tonight. Being challenged by 57 Wally Tierheimer, being pushed by 14 Nathan Sylvia. We have heard Nathan Sylvia's name a lot tonight, driving that number 14 Me truck. Great driver right there.
The yellow flag is out.
Oh, caution
is out.
Caution is out. You know who that's going to benefit the most is the number 2, Jason Ruscio, and the 71 of Robert Everhart have already made that final pit stop. It's going to play right into their hands on their pit strategy.
Now looking back at that caution, it does appear that the number 22 got into the number 32. Those drivers are Jay Dargert and the number 22 and the number 32 of Matthew Heavener. Having a little bit of side draft collision there.
I expect to see all the leaders come in on this pit stop. They will go ahead and probably take either 2 or 4 tires and definitely fill up that tank, and they'll be good to go to the end. And boy, they better tighten up those belts, maybe get a drink of water because it's going to be pretty much wreckers or checkers from here on out.
Oh, yes, sir, most definitely. Unfortunately, the number 4 of Wesley, a victim in that showdown, had no involvement in that other than definitely getting locked up into it. Wicked barrel roll by the number 33 driver, Kyle Kasselback. If you look at that on replay, he was on his nose looking like a ballerine dancer here at the KMA 3-year anniversary race on lap 75.
Well, that's unfortunately. The number 4, Wesley Hollander, was our early front runner in this race. He's doing really good, and unfortunately, it seems like he's been caught up in a few incidents, and he set his night back for sure.
As the field is pitting in, being led by the 38 of Donald Sadowski down pit road. Let's watch these guys' pit strategy. What do you guys think? Do you think they're going to take tires and fuel, or just going to take gas?
At this point, I'm thinking just gas. They should have already prepped for their tires with the last pit stop. I'd be just filling up and getting the heck out of there.
Well, let's go on and ask Donald Sadowski here. How's your race going, Donald? What are you going to do with that 38 truck tonight?
Race is going pretty good. Tonight I was 2 laps down, and I got the 2 laps back, 2 lucky dogs back to back. So I'm gonna try to stay up front and keep this 38 Chevrolet Dodge Husky up front.
Alrighty, are you feeling confident to bring that 38 home tonight? Are you going to hang out? Is it go time? Are you going to hang out and be safe, or balls to the wall?
It's Prince. Yeah, we got like 25 more, actually less than that. It's go time.
Alrighty, copy that, and good luck to you, and I definitely hope to see you in Victory Lane tonight.
Thank you, sir.
Well, it is definitely gold time in that particular caution. The lucky dog went to the number 90, Greg Kenny. So Greg Kenny will now be on the lead lap. I'm sure he's going to go ahead and go in, probably take 4 tires. He's got nothing to lose. He's got to start from the rear of the field, full tank of Sunoco fuel, and then he'll be good to go for the end as well.
Oh man, looking back in the field here, we have a lot of lap cars. We have the 99 of Jared Lipster, who is 14 laps down. Oh man, I'm sure he's just staying in this race just so he could, help teammates out. And also one thing is, we do not just, when we're a lap down or 2, we don't give up. We're there to have fun. So as long as we have fun, we're all winners.
How about that Jarrett Lipster driving 99 tonight? How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
I am doing fine. I'm having a great time here tonight with the KMA 3-year, watching you guys run around this 0.66 mile track. I see, sir, you are unfortunately 14 laps down, but you are still rolling. That is admirable, sir. I appreciate that. Talk to us about your race.
Well, I've had some computer issues. We fixed it, though. It's running really well.
Oh, yes, sir, and I want to give you a big shout out for sporting that official KMA 3-year anniversary truck tonight. Painted up by Over the Top Design and Paints. You were looking mighty pretty out there. 14 laps from out, you were looking good, showing your KMA team spirit, sir.
Thank you. It's been a long race. It's been fun. It's been really fun.
Well, we definitely appreciate you being here, and 14 laps down, and you are still in it, and sir, you are in it to win it. Good job.
Thank you.
Well, it looks like under this particular round of pit stops, we had 3 drivers that actually stayed out. The 00 of James Brown, the 87 of Raymond Rittenmeyer, and the 38 of Donald Sadowski. Mr. Fenstermacher, was that a mistake on their part?
That's a great question. At this point, I don't know. I don't know have the notes in front of me to see when their last pit stop was. I'd imagine if you were in their cockpit right now, you would hear a lot of quiet. I'd imagine they're either clutching or shutting those engines off completely, trying to save fuel. But track position, it's hard to get at this track, and if you can get it, you want to keep it.
That's right.
Hey, how about Raymond Rittenmeyer?
How you doing?
I'm good, sir. How are you? Sitting up in P2 spot, looking all badass. Talk to us about your race.
Well, hopefully our fuel strategy works out here.
So I'm assuming you're good to go?
I hope. It's going to be close.
Oh, and Raymond, tell us, who's your teammate? Who do we need to, keep an eye on and make sure you get together? And who's your teammate? Tell us.
Matt Quick sitting back here in 8th place. Hopefully he can get up here with me.
All right, definitely. And we will keep an eye on the tandem of Raymond Rittenauer and Matt Quick. Good luck to you, brother.
All right, thank you.
That
looking
sounds
at-
like a driver definitely looking for one more caution to make sure he makes it to the end.
Yes, definitely, and I'm sure James Brown might be in the same boat as the 87 of Raymond. And speaking of James Brown, looking at his hood, that thing is wrinkled. How much of a bad effect do you think that's going to have on him?
Well, that all depends, because sometimes, unfortunately, with the iRacing system, it's not exactly a perfect scenario. Sometimes you'll actually get a little bit of a glitch where the body will actually have already been fixed from a quick repair. It might be something that it might not affect him very well. It might be something that he just won't do well as a lead truck. Which, if he's in the same predicament, he's probably not going to want to be the lead truck anyway. He's going to want to ride about the third truck in line where he can save a little bit of fuel, not run all wide out. So I guess we're just going to have to wait and see what happens here.
Oh, yes, absolutely. The pace car is off here. They're ready to go green.
Going to be a very action-packed restart.
Yes, so the green flag flies on the loud pedal. The 38 of Donald Sadowski right on the bumper of the 00 of James Brown. The 87 on the outside line of Raymond Rittenauer has the help from the 2 of Jason Russo. Behind Jason Russo is going to be the 41 of Sean Ermacora, it looks like. Haven't spoken or seen much of him, so good to see him up front.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of new names towards the front of this. There's a lot of guys that have been hanging out towards the back, just biding their time, just making sure they have quick repairs and they have a truck at the end of this race. That it's go time now. They've made that final pit stop. They can make it to the end. You're going to see 3 wide quite a bit, I'm assuming.
Oh, yes, sir, we will. And we are on lap 80 of the KMA 3-year. Our current race leader is James Brown, being challenged by Raymond Rittenauer, being pushed on by Pro Automotive, making a run on that outside lane. Leaders are staying double file. Matthew Quick riding up the middle, looking like he's going to take it 3 wide. He's wanting to go 3 wide. We can tell it.
Yeah, that's one of those positions that you really got to be careful when you try to stick it 3 wide coming out of that trial. We got a lot of guys bouncing, a lot of trucks that get loose. You may think that they're giving you a little bit of room, but they're just catching their own truck, and next thing you know, the big one.
All right, now it's spinning that 3 wide, Scott, at 20 laps to go. Is that 3 wide? Is it time, or do you wait 10 more laps, or do you wait to 5 to go? Because if you go 3 wide and somebody can't handle it, well, you know you're going to end up upside down. What do you do?
Well, it depends on who's taking it 3 wide. If it's a couple of people that I trust and their plan is to get to the front, I'm going to go with them. On the other hand, if you've got 3 wide people bouncing around, especially through that trial, well, I'm going to find a safe spot, and I'm going to try and keep my truck as straight as possible.
I am definitely keeping an eye on this 53, that outside lane, giving a big gap. That 53 keeps looking like he's wanting to shoot right up that middle. 53 Skip Lynn, solid driver, but I know he's itching to get up there.
Yeah, I think it also matters as far as what place you're sitting in. If you're sitting in about top 10, you're probably not going to force it 3 wide unless you see it coming up in your mirror. If you're sitting about 20th, you got to go now, because if they get 3 wide before you start up that outside lane, you're stuck in a parking lot and you ain't going anywhere. There's nowhere for you to go.
Right now, it definitely does look like our leaders have settled down. They've actually been settled down all night. Only one caution brought out by our leaders tonight, back early on in the race. We are approaching lap 84. Raymond Rittenauer, James Brown battling out for P1 and P2. Bobby Everhart hanging tough in that Coma unwind truck in P6.
Yeah, we know both of our leaders did not pit under that last particular pit stop, so we do know that they are stretching it on fuel. And unfortunately, the worst place to be when you're trying to save fuel is out front in front of this pack.
Now look at that outside lane. They are bumper to bumper. 89 sitting back there, pushing on the 53, pushing on the 41, pushing on the 2, pushing on the 87, trying to make that outside lane go.
Speaking of those pit stops, I think the only trucks that stayed out were the 00 of James Brown and the 87 of Raymond Rittenauer, who are currently our leaders for both lanes. But I believe the two of Jason Russo and the 38 of Dylan Sadusky actually made a pit stop on the last caution.
So are you suggesting that our race leaders may not have enough fuel, Sean?
Yes, sir, absolutely. They are not going to make it. If they don't have the caution, they will not make it.
And we are 3 wide. Rittenauer going up high. Jason Lucio, the number 41, taking it down the middle. Jason staying solid. 38, light contact on that 87. 3 wide. 87 getting hung in the middle. And James Brown up in front by himself on that inside lane. Oh my goodness, he is losing positions left and right.
The 89 of Matthew Quick on the outside line, getting some help from the 14 of Nathan Sylvia.
3 wide in front.
38. Donald Sadusky, the 38, got no help in the middle as he's going to be left out to dry. The 15 of
Richie Brose, contact on the 53, recovers.
Yeah, this is when it's undoubtedly the most dangerous in this field. Once they got 3 lanes established, it's pretty easy to know where you're going. It's when it's first starting to get going, and you don't know if you're going to go in the middle, you don't know if you want to go high. It's the ducking and the dart that's going to get you in trouble. Multiple drivers doing it, and we get the big one. Luckily, it looks like cooler heads have started to prevail.
Easy on
up a little more.
38, we are 4 wide, gentlemen. We are 4 wide on lap 85. 38, Russo in front, a little bit loose, recovering. We almost went 5 wide. Matthew Quick to the front, being pushed by Raymond Ritter. 38 is loose. 38 is loose.
38th around off the front of the 15.
There's
the big one.
That was wicked, but that was cool. 38 bumping down onto Richard Brose in the number 15. Matthew Quick and Raymond Rittenauer running for their lives up in front, safe and sound.
The move by the 38 was not too wise as he went from the bottom to the high side line and cut across 2 lanes, and that actually slowed him down a lot, and the guys behind him did not actually see that coming as they were almost running him over and taking it 4 wide just to try and avoid him.
I tell you what, Sean, we almost saw 5 wide. I saw a driver wanting to go 5 wide, and then he backed her down, thank goodness, but 38 unfortunately getting a little bit loose. And unfortunately, we do appear that we only had 4 trucks survive that caution. Matthew Quick, Raymond Rittenauer.
Oh, it looks like we had some trouble on the back straightaway with the 90 of Craig Kenny. That was lap 86. He just went straight for the wall and actually flipped it. So I'm not sure if he lost steering wheel or what happened there.
Well, there's a strong possibility here if you do not pay attention to your tire wear, Sean. I have seen trucks blow tires.
Yeah, it looks like the number 74 of Abe Bowden, our leader from earlier in this race. Looks like he's got a blown motor. He's coasting around the bottom of the track, trying to make it back to pit lane. The real big winner of this looks like right now, at least, is the number 87 of Raymond Rittenauer, who we know did not pit. It was going to be a little bit loose on, a little low on fuel. He managed to make it through it. These caution laps will definitely help him up, and I believe his teammate Matthew Quick's up there with him.
All right, how about it, Matt? Have you got a copy, sir?
Yeah, I got a copy. What's up?
I tell you what, did you see that in your rearview mirror? That was scary up here in the tower. How's your race going tonight? You're sitting on P1 position of lap 87. Do you have this in the bag?
I ain't gonna say that. Anything can happen here, man. There was I made some moves there that I'm probably not proud of, but I don't know if I caused that or not. It was just everything kept stacking up, so I was diving in and out. I went 3rd lane to 1st lane to 2nd lane. I was kind of going everywhere, and we made it through somehow. So I don't know how I made it. The last restart, I was about 9th. So yeah, I'm doing pretty good right now.
Oh, I tell you what, sir, I was grabbing on to the side of my chair and my coffee cup hanging on for dear life. I saw you guys almost go 5 wide. What were your thoughts when you guys were almost 5 wide?
Well, I saw a car go up from the bottom lane into my lane, but he went up too high, and I had the momentum, so I just kind of squeezed in between there. And I thought right there, I was like, that was a bad move, but we made it through that part, and then all of a sudden I saw Ray kind of come up around me. I was like, hey, what's up, bud? And then we kind of hooked up and took off.
And Matthew, This is Sean here. Yeah, we heard from the 87 of Raymond Rittenauer. I believe you two are partners, and by the sounds of it, you guys might be doing some serious damage to the front of this field. Well, how's your pit strategy doing? Are you on the same pit strategy as he is?
I was supposed to be. And then right before the caution before, I got a little bit of damage, and I had enough quick repairs. I had 3 left, so I was like, I'm going to get a new nose. So I decided to get just a little bit more fuel than him, but he should be good. I think we might not be known wrecking. I hope we are, but, you know, if there's another caution, I know he's good for sure, but he's going to be close. But I should be good.
Now, Matthew, you guys are going to be lining up side by side. Is it going to be a team where you guys are going to try to get hooked up as quick as possible? Or is, with probably 10 to go, is it every man for himself?
I mean, we'd like to get hooked up, but I don't want to start out I'm probably not going to do the pace car thing because we're just going to get passed. So I think we're just going to just let it be, you know. Try not too hard. I don't want to stack up the field. I mean, and I don't want to get so far ahead of it where we get passed. So I think we just let it be. Just let it be.
Oh, and Matthew, you know, just let's say worst case scenario, your partner runs out. Do you have any other friends up front, or have you made any friends tonight who would stick with you the whole race in case he runs out of fuel at the end?
I got a question for you. Do you have any friends 5 laps to go?
Yeah, good question. Yeah,
good answer. All right, Matt, we'll move back down there with you, buddy. Good luck to you.
Good luck.
Thanks.
That's why we're in the booth right now, not on the track.
That's funny right there. All right, let's get a Schnupper up here. How about it? Brandon Schnupper sitting in P3 with 10 laps. What are you going to do, brother, to bring that KMA 31 truck home tonight, brother?
Well, it's been a heck of a race. Been to the front, to the back, to the front, laps down. Now I finally made my way back up front. Both of my teammates were just involved in the people I was running with tonight. Both were involved in that crash, so I'm kind of stranded up here. So hopefully I can get hooked up with someone and make it to the front.
Hey, copy that. Well, you do have the number 66, Edward Bray, your KMA teammate, but he's a little bit back there from you, so you might be on your own. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I just hope I can get to that high line, and I don't know, hopefully he'll get up here with me. If not, I'll just play the single game. We'll see where that leads me. Top 10 I'll be happy with.
All right, but now you mentioned that high lane. You're starting there on the inside, is that correct? Do you not like that inside lane? Talk to us about that high lane.
No, I like the high line. You can actually move around up there. Down at the bottom, you're just stuck and trapped. There's nowhere to go. You just get shuffled back.
Already copy that, and we definitely hope for a green flag 10-lap shootout here. I'd like to see you in Victory Lane tonight with that KMA truck.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, and congratulations on 3 years of KMA.
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Now, we spoke with Matthew Quick, the teammate of that number 87, but I'm not too sure that 87 is 100% sure that he's going to have the fuel left, because he's definitely pulling out in front of the pace car and clutching that truck for everything it's worth to get every single bit of gas out of it.
Definitely, and personally I do not think he's gonna make it, but good luck to him, because speaking of those fuel strategies, they did not pit. They pitted way before lap 70, so it's gonna affect them.
Yeah, I think that he's going to be very close on it. I hope we've seen the last caution, but I'm not going to say we have. 10 laps to go. There's going to be no give. It's going to be all take. It should be very interesting, and I'm just hoping that there's enough quick repairs left for a good finish.
Well, it's going to be Wallace to the wall, Brad, and right now, Matthew Quick, Raymond Rittenauer, Brandon Schnupp, Steven Slicker. We have not talked much about the number 40, Steven Slicker, but I guarantee you he is not going to give up that P4 spot. His partner, Craig Kinney, way back in the field tonight, so he is on his own. Lou Slugnut's very own, 58, Jason Hughes, taking up that P5, and the Screaming Eagle, Harley Davidson, number 66, KMA's very own, Edward Bray. P6 yes. In that bastard truck again, number 7. I'm rooting for that bastard truck, Brad. What do you think?
And yes, sir, the 89, the green flag flies in the 89, pulls away from the whole field. Behind him is going to be the 31 of Brandon Schnupp. Well, that's going to actually looks like he's going to bite the 89 here because he had a better start than the rest of them, and they can just easily get a run on him and jump to the outside line and leave him out to dry.
31 heading out to that outside. Not enough gap there on the 40 coming up hard.
Yeah, it looks like they had a little bit of issue getting going on that outside lane on that restart. Really sprung out the field. That might be good as far as the longevity of this field, making it to the last 10 laps.
Now, I mentioned that 66. He is pushing on that outside lane right there in the middle, and he is pushing hard on the number 40 of Steven Slicker, pushing on the 31 Brandon Schnupp, making that middle lane work.
Yes,
now, what's going to be interesting here, Brad, is when you're in that middle lane, you go 3 wide. Is your partner really your partner? If you're in that middle lane, you get that lead. Do you duck down? Do you stay with them? A lot of decisions right here.
Right now, it really doesn't matter who's your partner, who's not. You're looking for the lane that goes. Me personally, I'm looking for either the outside lane. As soon as that third lane starts going, that's where I'm going, because you're going to get bottlenecked in the bottom 2 lanes. The only chance you got is to be the first truck in that third lane to get up the even challenge for the win. You're either going to go for the win, or you're going to finish somewhere in the top 10.
Well, we saw the number 66 and 57 trying to make a run in that lane, but that did not work out. Brandon Schnupp, Matthew Quick, Steven Slicker, Raven Rittenauer dominating the top 4 on lap 93 with 7 to go.
Yeah, that fumbled restart really did it in for this group, because this back is really strung out, so you're not going to get that big 3 wide, 5 cars deep, 5 trucks deep. So really you're kind of stuck right now with 2 groups and waiting and trying to time it out right.
Now let's not forget about that number 2, Jason Riccio, working on that middle lane. Number 58, looking like he's got some damage there. Jason Hughes got a caved-in rear end being pushed on by that bastard truck, number 63. Once again, Edward Bray in the mix, and riding on the number 2, Edward Bray up into that third lane. We are 3 wide. Hughes is loose on the apron.
58 still getting loose as he is going to manage to save it and keep it off the track. Great driving by Jason Hughes, but he is going to actually lose a lot of spots due to that.
Yeah, Hughes went off on there. He did a great job of saving it at 63. He saw it, tried to give plenty of room in order to make sure he had enough room to save it, and he lost tons of positions as well.
Yes, and looking back in the back, looks like the 32 of Matthew Hebner got into the 63 of Glenn Jamison. What happened basically was that Glenn wasn't fast enough, so the 32 had to got the apron, and after he did that on the backstretch, the 63 was occupying the bottom lane. And when the 23 decided to come up, he ended up during the 63.
Approaching lap 96 of the KMA3 year, our race leader is currently number 87, but he's going to lose that lead as the middle lane takes precedence, and big run on that middle lane with Brandon Schnupp and Matthew Quick in that kitty cat car being pushed on by number 2, Jason Riccio of Pro Automotive. Middle lane holding strong with Wally on the P4 position of the outside lane.
Yes, and I think this lead pack might be just far enough from that second pack to where they're going to solve it between these trucks right here. Now the question is who's going to take it home?
Well, right now, Brad, if that caution does come out, this would seal the deal, and Matthew Quick would be our winner. But I know darn well that Brandon and Jason and Stephen and Wally are not going to take a second place or a third. They are going for that win tonight.
Well, this is Talladega. 100 feet can determine the winner versus the loser, and where that scoring pylon is when that caution does come out. I'm hoping it doesn't come out. I want to see this finish under green. The problem is, though, is you got Rustio up there in that
we are
second lane.
3-3, Rick, up in the front. Oh, my goodness, in the front. And we are looking back at that, and it does appear the number 31 got pressured by Jason Riccio and the 87, and we were 3 wide in the front in 2 lanes, and gentlemen, that will not work.
They were still wrecking in the back. They came back up onto the track.
All right, that will seal the deal, I do believe, but do not quote me on that. But if that does seal the deal, Brad, we are looking at Matthew Quick in the number 89 Kitty Cat car. Wicked wreck. That, we thought we had seen the big one earlier on tonight, but that was the big one of the night, gentlemen.
Teammates up front, it looks like, I believe.
Unfortunate ending to tonight's race, but I tell you what, that was balls to the wall. And hey, I do want to give a quick shout out to our number 1 viewer out there, Michelle McMaster Eisenhower, dedicated viewer of All Pro Broadcast. I see her right now watching this feed tonight. Hi, Michelle. How you doing? Good to see you watching.
Yeah, so it's so sad to see that caution had to come out this late in the race. It's going to seal the deal. Looks like our race winner is going to be the 89 of Matthew Quick. And then second place is going to be Wally Tierheimer in the 57. J.R. Johnson in the 37 coming in third. The 66 of Edward Bray coming in fourth. And the 216 of Tristan Beats coming in fifth. Wait, how in the world? I did not see Tristan up there. How did he get fifth place?
Well, Tristan is just that darn good driving that KMA truck. But yes, so that will seal the deal. So congratulations to Matthew Quick in the 89 Kitty Cat car. All right, I stand corrected. We did have a driver fall off position. So Matthew Quick, Wally Tierheimer, Max Velocity in the Hardy car, J.R. Johnson, number 37. That is your top 3 of the night, gentlemen. All right, so tell me, Mr. Fenstermacher, let's round up tonight's 100 laps. 30 seconds to last. Can you do it? Because it has been action-packed. Talk to me, Scott.
Overall, I thought it was a really good race. I thought I saw a lot of good three wide racing. I thought I saw some good pack racing. I saw some good tandems going at 1. I think the bigger problem was we had a few little slip-ups, and those little slip-ups caused the big accidents.
Yes, sir, but that is the nature of the beast here at Talladega, this 2.66 mile track located out of Alabama. We are looking at currently, and these are not official results, but 11 drivers on the lead lap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drivers, 1 lap down. 4 drivers, 2 laps down. 3 drivers, 3 laps down. 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, and 12 laps down is the number 15, Richie B, parked in pits, currently trying to get a backup truck.
Yeah, it's definitely been an exciting race. It's definitely been a race that's going to keep the body shop in business, that's for sure. But ultimately, I think that everybody had a good time so far. And, you know, I'm ready to give the congratulations here to Matthew Quick and get going on this. See some burnouts.
And we will definitely be seeing those burnouts, and we will drag Matthew and Wally JR up into our booth here in a few minutes and get post-race interviews. But once again, thank you for viewing the KMA Racing 3-year anniversary race live broadcast brought to you by Michael DeMacchio with All Pro Racing. Big shout out to the sponsors, Richie B, Pro Automotive. And now that this is said and done, I will release the big news, Brad. Our sponsors tonight, Richie B and Pro Automotive, Jason Ruscio, they have offered up $1,000 tonight. We will be offering up $1,000 in payouts. And those payouts are brought to you by Richie B's Pizza and Pro Automotive.
Well, I think that's going to make Mr. Quick very, very happy. As well as every other driver out here. I would like to know how much that number 57 has left in fuel, though. I'm sure so would Mr. Sean.
Yes, absolutely. Well, you know, it's been a good race so far. It's been a good racing throughout, just like you guys said. But yeah, just those little mistakes are the ones that matter the most at these super speedway tracks. And just like we also said earlier, you can go from hero to zero really quickly. Just because you qualify on the pole does not mean you're going to win the race.
Yeah, I don't believe Matthew Quick was even up in the top 5 until that last 15 laps. So then you had drivers that dominated earlier in this race that unfortunately had some incidents, and they went a few laps down, totally changed the complexion of this race. It's never over till it's over. So.
Oh yes, definitely.
Excellent race, and I tell you what, I want to thank Brad Patterson and Scott Finstermacher and Sean Zulu for joining me up in the booth tonight with the KMA 3-year anniversary race. I tell you what, guys, as owner of KMA, a little heavy on the cautions tonight, but I guarantee you, everybody had a great time. KMA is on the grid 6 nights a week here in iRacing, and my last shout out of the night, big shout out to iRacing itself. Great place, made some real life friends. These guys are like family to me. Brad's like my very own brother. Sean Zulu, I love the guy. Scott Finstermacher, great friend of mine. Actually lives in my own hometown of Springfield, Illinois. And this is great. This is what we pay for. I had a lot of fun. And we'll see you again in 2 weeks on Sunday when we do our live broadcast of the first Sunday of the month, the monthly PAD race, and that is PADD.org, People Against Distracted Driving, and we will definitely see you there. Hang out, guys, because we're going to do some post-race interviews and get Matthew and Wally and JR up here in the booth, and they're going to tell us about their night tonight and how they got her done. I also want to give a quick plug out to an announcement here. KMA Racing and Loose Lugnuts Racing and TWC VM Virtual Motorsports have joined forces to create the Interleague Racing Championship League, and we will be broadcasting up a broadcast race on Friday nights for a 15-week series coming up, and more information about that can be found on Facebook with ILCR Interleague Championship Racing involving KMA, Loose Lugnuts, and TWC VM.
All right, let's run down. We're going to run down the top 10 right quick. First place went Matthew Quick. Second was Wally Jeremiah. Third, J.R. Johnson. Fourth went to Edward Gray. Fifth is Jason Hughes. Sixth is Bobby Earnhardt. Seventh goes to Raymond Rittenmeyer. Eighth is Lloyd Sanders. 9 is Sean Miracola. And rounded out the top 10 with Brandon Schnuck.
How about a J.R. Johnson driving the number 37? Have you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, well, congratulations bringing up that top 3 slot tonight. Action-paced race tonight. I don't know about you, but I was sweating in my jumpsuit. Talk to me about your race tonight, buddy.
I was just trying to run it smart. First third of the race, I decided I was going to do a little different and just run in the back and avoid a few of the wrecks that were coming up. I got pretty lucky. Only got involved in one for most of the race, and still ended up with only one fast repair left. So just trying to be smart. That's about it.
Alright, copy that. And this is your moment in the limelight. Anybody you want to give a big shout out to?
Yeah, a big one to my fiance for putting up with me in all the racing.
What is her name? What is her name?
I'm thankful to her for it.
All right, what is her name, JR?
Deborah.
All right, a big shout out to Deborah for putting up with JR Johnson. I love it, brother. I love it. How about it, Wally, Mr. Hardy Truck himself? Got a copy?
Absolutely, Scott. I'm here. The Carl's Jr. Chevy Silverado right here, second place, brother.
All right, well, hold on now. I have to know, how much fuel did you have left in that truck?
I pitted in that last caution. So I didn't even take gas in the last caution because I had pitted on 74 or 75.
Well, brilliant job tonight, Wally, and I am very glad and happy that you brought home that number 2 spot for Max Velocity. Tell us a little bit about Max Velocity and what you guys do.
Well, you know what? We run every other Thursday night. There's a big, huge field. It's like we're running the exact same schedule as the trucks do, and it's a lot of fun in there. And it's a lot of fun in there. And I really had a lot of fun with the KMA group, and was trying to represent for the Max Velocity guys tonight. There wasn't a whole lot of us in there. There were 3 or 4 of us, but KMA is the group that we're running for here. And I appreciate this, and congratulations on 3 years. And a shout out to my mom and daughter and her boyfriend that are watching the broadcast. You know, it's been a lot of fun, and they're kind of hooting and hollering in the other room. It's a lot of fun.
All right, copy that. And yes, definitely big shout out to Mom here at KMA. We love moms. I love my mom. You love your mom. And hi, Mom. How you doing? Hope you enjoyed watching Wally bring her home into a number 2 spot tonight in the KMA 3-year. But right now, the light is shining on our race winner, Matthew Quick, driving that 89 Kitty Cat car. Talk to me.
What's up, Scott? How you doing?
I am happier as a clam on the seashore, but I know you're happier than I am bringing home that win tonight. How'd you get her done, and how much fuel you have left, and what are your thoughts?
I got pretty stinking lucky tonight. You guys talked to me right before the end of the second to last caution there on lap 90 or so, and somehow Ray and I dodged the death trap, and we just kept hitting. He kept trying to push me on the bottom line there for a little bit, and I know he wasn't hot, but that second lane was by far the strong lane. So when they kind of held up for a second, I decided that I wanted to run the second lane. So I got in the second lane, and we just kind of held both sides. I wasn't trying to check up or anything like that. I told Ray, I was like, whatever happens, happens, bud. And let's just try not to take it. Let's try to take it home. Ray had enough fuel to finish the race, but unfortunately, a little mix up there at the end there, and I believe he got 7th. So I could have done without Ray. If Ray wasn't there, I would have been left out to dry, and I would not be talking to you right now.
Well, I tell you what, that is what I like to hear. That is definite quick teamwork. And again, a big shout out and congratulatory to the number 89, Matthew Quick. Actually, I've been calling you the Kitty Cat car. You're actually driving the Squatty Potty car tonight. That is such a cool truck you got looking there. All right, great job, Matt. We really enjoyed watching tonight.
Well, I got to give it a shout out to John Hedrick, man. He painted this car for me a couple of weeks ago, and we deliberated over this guy for about a month and a half, and I really like Squatty Potty. I scream, you scream, and, we all like taking that poop. When you can't take a poop, take a Squatty Potty. Check him out on YouTube. And, again, huge shout out to John Hendrick, and thanks to all the iSuper Speedway guys that watch us. And if you want to check Ray and I out, we race on the iRacing homepage on iSuper Speedway every Friday night.
All right, yes, sir, and we will do that. And I agree with you with the Squatty Potty. Making your morning flow go easier. Congratulations, Matthew Quick. Big shout out to Squatty Potty. All right, gentlemen, Scott, Sean, Brad, let's wrap this up. Talk to me about tonight.
Well, I think it's been a great race. I want to congratulate you, Scott, on 3 years with KMA, and thanks for letting us all be a part of it.
Thank you, sir. How about Brad?
I think the race had a little bit of everything. It had some excitement. It had some close finishes, some close racing, some pit strategy. I would have liked to see a little bit more green flag, but I'm sure everybody would have. But all in all, I think it was a great race, and I think it's like everything else. It stands the test of time, much like KMA has over the last 3 years. I was very proud to be a part of it for a long time. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys do in the future.
All righty, and how about it, Sean Zulu with Max Velocity in my announcer's booth tonight. What do you think, Sean?
Oh, yes, sir. First and foremost, thank you and congratulations, Scott Kulavik, for the 3-year anniversary here. You put on a great great show. You have a lot of great guys. It's fun hanging around them. When bad moods on Fridays, after having a bad week on Saturday nights, we just hang out with you guys, and we're gonna have a laugh. We're gonna have a ball. We're gonna race each other really hard and all that good stuff. So thank you for everything you do, and Yeah, the whole race has been a good race. We saw some 3 wide. We saw some scraping, some good side drafting. We saw the big ones. We saw some trucks sideways, upside down, some 4 wide, 5 wide, and all that good stuff. So
I saw a truck doing a ballerina dance. He was up on his front end headlights, straight up in the air, doing somersaults. I give him a 10.0 in the Olympic truck ballerina dance.
Yes, sir, absolutely, definitely.
All right, and one final big shout out to our broadcaster, Michael DiMacchio, with All Pro Broadcasting Network. Great job on cams. Shout out to Pro Automotive, Richie B's Pizza, Quora, James Brown, contributor, and especially to the teams that race with us, guys. You guys have been thanking me all night. I thank you. I thank our viewers, Michelle, Kyle, a lot of guys right now watching this feed. You can catch out that replay. We will post up a link, and you can watch the entire broadcast. Great job on cameras with Michael. And we are Scott Kovic, Brad Patterson, Sean Zulu, and Scott Finstermacher, and Michael DiMacchio with All Pro Broadcasting in the KMA Racing 3-year anniversary. Thank you, gentlemen, and we are out of here.
Challenge or a fight. Nature provides, God gives the rights. We're Americans. We make up America. This amazing America. Oh, yeah. We fish the waters and we hunt the lands. We forge the steel with our own 2 hands. With what we've got, we do the best we can. We're Americans. From the snowy passes to the desert sun, the dogs and the horses and the trucks and the guns, mothers and daughters and fathers and sons, we're Americans. We make up America, this amazing America. Oh, yeah. Home of the brave in America. We're an amazing America.
Hey, this is Garrett Smithley, driving the number 0 JD Motorsports Chevrolet, and you're watching All Pro Broadcasting.